Hi everyone, my name's Kim and this is my cozy little corner of the world, and we are gonna paint something beautiful today. So if you were here, if you saw yesterday we had a little bit of an unusual stream because I showed a lot of my old art. So if you haven't seen that one, I would encourage you to go back and look at it. I wanted people to be able to see that we all start somewhere, right? We all have a different path that we take. And so when I'm in here, I'm just happy to open my door up and show you what I do. But I want you to see that, you're gonna have to find, if you're a painter, your own path. If you're just a lover of art, maybe you just enjoy seeing the process. But either way, I'm happy to share it. And so we are gonna try to kick this one up a notch today. So this is a butter pecan. It will be anyway. And so today I promise that we're going to work on refining some of these shadows, because right now I would call these very wimpy shadows. And that's just, again, part of my process. I work back and forth on things. I build up more visual information each time because I want to go ahead and see what I need to do. And I need a little bit of a guide when I do that. So sometimes I get it to this point and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to go a little bit backwards. And so that's what I'm doing today. So I hope that you will enjoy seeing this, because it really takes something like this, which looks, it looks okay, but we really want to get it up to, the next level, like one of these where it looks really, really realistic. So that is what we are gonna try to do today. So we're gonna work on the shadows and we're gonna work on some highlights. So I've introduced 2 more colors to my palette than what I had yesterday. So this is what I used yesterday. I've actually taken the brown off of my palette. That was really only for my underpainting here, the lower levels. But really what I used yesterday was simply this white, this dark blue, which is called Payne's Gray, this red, it's cadmium red, and this yellow, which is cadmium yellow. That was all I used so far in this painting, besides the brown umber that I had, burnt umber that I had on my palette. So I've taken the burnt umber off and I've introduced these 2 colors. This is Pyrrole red, which is a much brighter and I would say cooler red than cadmium red. And this is phthalo blue, which is again a much brighter and cooler color. And so for me, what I do is I start with this warm base. And again, we're gonna knock some shadows in here, still using the warm colors for now. So I'm gonna go in and refine those. But as I build up more colors on top, I use these cooler colors, and that helps me build out the dimension. Everybody's a little bit different in how they structure their paintings. Everybody has a different theory out there, right? But that's how it works for me. And so again, I'm happy to share it with you. We are gonna try to do this one in real time. So we did it Monday and we did it Thursday and yesterday. And so we're going to work on it today. We're going to work on it again on Monday and probably again next Thursday. And then on Friday, I'm thinking, because I'm hoping this will be done by then, that we're going to have an ice cream party. So I hope that everybody will stock up their freezer with whatever their favorite ice cream is, and we can all celebrate together, and then we'll move on to the next project. So just keep that in mind, maybe next Friday, and I'll announce that a little bit sooner as we get further along in the painting. So I have my reference image here on my phone. I'm just gonna blow it up. Again, I try to work around a 1-to-1 scale whenever I get a chance, because it helps me to not put too much strain on my brain as I go through. And yesterday, I do want to also shout out that we had a couple wonderful people, a bunch of wonderful people that were in here. So that was really nice. Everybody was enjoying, me showing my old work and showing the progress that I've made throughout my lifetime to kind of get where I am. And then Perry gifted 23 subs, which was crazy. And I hope that you were one of the people who got one of those subs. And then we had another anonymous person who also gifted, I think, 5 subs. And we also had George subscribe, and we got some bits from Cupie, and Cupie was kind enough to explain most of what was happening to me, because I am very new to Twitch, and so I was mildly confused. So I appreciate everyone's generosity and kindness, and just being here. So thank you so much for being here with me today. So, all right, let's get into it. I am gonna look, so I said yesterday that I noticed a few shadow areas where things were looking, again, I'm gonna call these wimpy shadows right now. So I need to go in and I need to fix them a little bit. I'm still gonna glaze over my shadows on another layer after that dries, but I need to get rid of this wimpiness. So if you can see here, this is correct. These shapes are all correct, but they're really not deep enough for my shadows. And then if I scoot over here, this part I have missed entirely. So I noticed that when I turned my painting at one point, and so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it right now, actually, because turning my painting helps me to see things more objectively. And I like to work on areas that I feel are gonna encourage me to think that I'm actually making progress on my pieces. So I'm gonna head right into this section because I feel like this section hasn't really been addressed at all. So I'm gonna mix up a nice kind of warmish shadow color, again, using my warm palette that I already had. So it's got blue, cadmium red, and yellow. It's actually, the shadows on ice cream are often a much warmer, brighter color than you might think that they are. You might think that they're gonna be, you know, very dark blue shadows, but the reality is these have lots of warm tones in them. And so I wanna make sure that I add enough red and yellow to that to make that accurate. And again, it just makes it look a little more magical, I think. So so I'm gonna go in there and we'll just see. I never quite know if this is gonna be correct until I apply it, because I'm very much, you know, when I was young, my grandma was, I had two grandmas, and they had very different baking styles. And one of them always followed a recipe, and she made beautiful, beautiful food. Beautiful food that was always put together very well and very fancy and looked really nice on the table. My other grandma would just throw things together and somehow magically it would come out to be amazing. And so I remember she used to do that with apple pie. She didn't actually have an apple pie recipe. She just threw things together. And that I think I adapt at various stages of my painting a little bit from each grandma. So we'll see here if we're just throwing things together right now. But I'm gonna come in here, and I think that that is a good color. So surprisingly warm. I just want to point this out. This color right here, it's a pretty warm color, right? But that is actually what this shadow color is on this part of my ice cream. So it is not blue, it's more like a burnt orange. And so I am just gonna go in here with my tiny brush. And you know, part of this I consider to be really like a drawing stage too. I've said that before, especially on this painting. There's a lot of things happening. And so if it's not completely, I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more blue. If it's not completely accurate, like that's okay, because my glazing process enables me to correct colors as I go. But if I get my shapes correct, then it makes all the difference in the world as I go through the later stages of the painting. So this is maybe still a little bit too bright for what I like, but it's still not a blue. It's still very much this kind of warm shadow color. And I'm going to put a little bit of white in there and a little bit more blue just to do this middle section of that bit of ice cream. So, you know, I think that when I paint, I very much try to see the relationships between all of these abstract shapes that are in my painting. And so so I build things up very gradually by kind of bouncing all over the place and refining things as I go. I really don't understand how painters, and I think they're incredibly gifted, but I don't understand how other painters just fill in all the details and work in one layer and just go like top to bottom or right to or left to right. So that is a skill that is beyond me. And so I've learned that I just have to play to my strengths. And so my strengths is to layer my colors and kind of treat, again, the lower layers almost like a drawing, and then fix things as I go. Now, I will say that, you know, part of this layering, which I often will talk about as well, is it really does, for me, make this look like not a typical painting. So I like that. It is basically a bunch of translucent layers so that I can see the lower layers peeking through. Hi, Pran, how are you? Welcome back. I hope that you're doing well today. Pran was here yesterday, I believe, during Perry's sprawl of giving out subs. I think, Pran, right? Were you one of our subs yesterday? So yeah, so I like seeing all of my layers of paint peek through. And again, I just swished right over that. Sometimes I do that, and I really believe that there is a gnome that comes in and makes marks on my painting, because I cannot. I just do. I mean, y'all are watching, so you obviously see me do it, but I don't notice me doing it. And I just do it once in a while when I glance away, I suppose. But anyway, I'm so glad, Pran. So yes, so welcome back. I hope that you had a good evening, and we're just gonna push right along with this one, Pran. So we're just trying to refine a lot of these shadow areas where things are still a little bit, you know, murky. And then I'm gonna go in and start to build up some highlights. And I'm in America. I am in New York State. So yes. Where are you based, Pran? You said, did you say Argentina? I think you told me. Was that you? Somewhere in South America, maybe? So yes, so I'm just gonna go in and refine these shadow areas. And again, like turning the painting, flipping it around is great for my brain, because when you look at something from India, I apologize, Pran. India, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I must have been thinking of someone else who said they were from Argentina. But I apologize, Pran. So then this is like really late for you. What time is it over there in India? Goodness me. So yes, so anyway, this is just my process, right? It doesn't mean that everybody does it this way, certainly. But I want to go in here and make sure that I get all of these little details, and that will make it much easier for me as I go. And it's very easy, I guess that's what I was saying, it's very easy to, your brain wants to simplify things, right? 11:46 at night, my goodness. Well, we appreciate you being here, Pran. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yes, very much appreciate you being here, Pran. Thank you for staying up late to tune in. Again, I turn my paintings because it makes my brain not try to simplify things. It keeps constantly challenging my brain. And your brain, it is a very sophisticated instrument, right? And so sometimes people lament that they can't get past drawing stick figures. Well, that's like part of what your brain does to try to help you, because it wants you to be efficient. And so it will try to simplify things and find the quickest path, which symbols are the quickest path to representing something. So if you're trying to learn to paint or draw realistically, you have to keep forcing your brain to see things in a different way. And so that's what turning my painting upside down and sideways does for me. It is a reason, you know, I did used to paint some of my things, not all of my things, from life. and that is a disadvantage for me. I prefer to work from a photo reference because I have full control over the lighting. I always take my own references. I always photograph my own references from real things that I make in my kitchen because I mostly paint food. But it gives me full control over it, and then much easier to turn my turn my reference image around so that I can again work in this very I don't even know what to call it, but in this way that does keep forcing my brain to see things in new ways. So I do like this. I wouldn't have seen yesterday unless I had turned it sideways. And so I just kind of constantly do that and keep building on itself. And I do it for colors and shapes. So you know, as I'm going in here, I'm trying to not just make my shapes more accurate according to whatever these abstract shapes are that I see when this is sideways, but I am also trying to start to make my colors more accurate. Again, I kind of refine those with my layers as I go, but definitely I feel like I said, I feel like these shadows are what I would call wimpy right now. They're non-committal, and I'm at a point in the painting where I think that I can, you know, pretty well commit to a lot of aspects of the both the shapes and the colors. I'm going to refine the shapes a little bit more, but certainly I'm getting to a point of doing that with the colors. When you initially draw things or paint things, this is another reason why I can't really figure out. In India, a kid's fast skill was pointing. Okay. Hi, Cupie. How are you today? Cupie was my saving grace yesterday. I mentioned it at the beginning of the stream today, Cupie, but you explained everything that was happening to me yesterday. But you're not good, Pran. Well, everybody can pick things up, right? Different stages of your life. That's kind of why I showed stuff yesterday, because I wanted it to be clear that you can do stuff at any age and learn any skills and, you know, further your skills at any point in your life. Oh, thanks very much, QP. I appreciate it. I'm playing a game, so I'll be lurking, but here. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, QP. Oh, I'm going to say this wrong, but thank you so much for the follow. Is it fried egg? Sometimes I mix up the way I should read things, but just give me a second. It's fried egg jellyfish? Is that right? Thank you so much for the follow. That was very, very kind. Aw, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. So welcome. Welcome. And are you an artist or an art lover? I always ask whenever somebody starts to chat. So Pran, you just show me paint, you just see and die. I'm not sure I understand. That I would die if I saw your paintings? No, I am sure that is not true. And definitely, please go back and watch the beginning of my stream yesterday if you want to see some of the, we'll call them the infancy stages of my painting throughout my lifetime. You paint as well, watercolor and acrylic. Okay, fried egg, awesome. If you would like to share any links to your work, you are welcome to do so. So we always invite artists, because I do want this to be kind of like I'm opening my studio door and we're all, you know, here to support each other and make work together, or just hang out and, you know, admire, talk about people's processes and whatever. So do feel free to share any links to your work. I am practicing, but I am not ready yet to show links in my screen. So I do have it set up that way. My husband set this up for me, but I'm a little nervous to do it yet. So next week I'm going to try. So I just want to get some practice in, because I've only been doing this for about a little over a month on here on Twitch. So please forgive me for that, right? And Pran, yes, I definitely think that wherever you are in your painting or drawing or whatever it is that you do, please go back and watch that to see that you can just certainly get better. Everybody can get better. We all start somewhere, right? So yeah, so the experience, I think I said this yesterday, but I do believe experience is the best teacher. But certainly, you know, I try to share. I don't consider myself a teacher, but I try to share what I do because it took me a long time to figure out certain things. And I don't want other people to struggle that way. So that's part of the reason why I do what I do in here, is I just don't want other people to struggle. So yes, and fried egg, if you didn't hear earlier, when I get to the end of this painting, this is a butter pecan, and this was a request from a member of the community. But when I get to the end of this painting, which I'm hoping is going to be maybe Thursday of next week, that after that we're going to have an ice cream party. So anybody who's in here, please remember again, probably Friday next week, that we're going to do an ice cream party on the stream. So bring your own ice cream and we will all celebrate together before we start the next project. So we're going to try to be efficient with this one and get the whole thing done between today, Monday, and Thursday of next week. So we're gonna really try to kick it up a notch and get it to look super, super realistic. And Cupie, you were on a 15 stream streak, and she's got that lovely dancing bear that I believe Sad Bear, is that a Sad Bear Club dancing bear as well? I'm not sure, but yes. You love watching how people shade, add depth and texture. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, everybody's process is a little bit different, right? But, you know, mine's maybe a little haphazard by some people's standards, but I'm happy to share it. So for this, I right now have this kind of, it's almost I took these colors that I mixed before, and again, I'm just using these three right now, but I've almost turned it into sort of a green shade, and that's really what I'm coming in here and adding right now. And then what I'll do is just let that dry and then come back to it and just keep refining. So overall on my paintings, Friday, I usually have between 6 and 12 layers of paint. So this is acrylic, and yeah, 6 to 12 layers of paint. And so they all kind of merge together visually to make it look really realistic in the end. So right now I think we're probably on about layer 6, so about halfway on this. So we're gonna see how far we can take it up today. Again, I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna add a little bit more of my reddish tones to this. And just come down here. And again, if I don't get it quite right on the first pass, that is very realistic realism. And yes, when you keep adding, yes, very much. So this is one that we finished a couple of weeks ago. So yes, I go really realistic on the ice cream. And then, you know, we did a little series of 3. I finished up a group of 5, which I shipped out to my gallery a couple weeks ago before that. So we go really realistic. I'm getting tongue-tied. And so that's what we're going to try to do here. So this is going to be an interesting day because I'm working on these shadows, which will give this a lot of refinement. And I'm also going, oh, thanks very much, Fried Egg. I really appreciate that. And then we're also going to use these other 2 brighter colors, which I didn't have on my palette before. So right now, this whole painting was created with basically these 4 colors and burnt umber. And I don't have the burnt umber on my palette today. So we're going to add these 2 extra colors today to start to bring this up so that it's not so warm, so that it takes more dimension and takes on a much cooler effect as we go. But right now, I just want to go in and try to work on these shadows. I use a lot of acrylic medium. That is my best friend as an acrylic painter. And so I mix it into essentially all of the paint that I use, or almost all of it. And the nice thing about it is, if you think about it, I put it in these little condiment cups, and they have little lids on them. So sometimes I will mix paint in those if I need a specific color that's going to cover a large area. But the nice thing about those is that, or this medium, is that you can think of it kind of as like acrylic paint, but without any tint to it. So I can essentially add as much or as little to my paint as I want. How long need to complete one painting? So this one, Pran, I say, I think in the end, this one will probably be just over 30-ish hours. That's what we're going to aim for. I would say they sometimes take, 40 hours, and sometimes longer than that if they're very complicated. If I get something that is particularly something that has sprinkles. Sprinkles are the bane of my existence as an ice cream painter. So those take much longer for me usually. So it kind of depends. But I would say, 40 hours is the average. 30 hours is when we do really well, and 50 hours is, the top end of things for something like this. This is 12 by 16. I did do many large paintings as well, which you can find on my website. And so some of those go up to 5 feet tall, and I still paint them with these tiny brushes, which is kind of insane. But those ones take me a very long time. So 40. Yeah, so that's probably a realistic number, 40. Even if I say, 30-ish hours, because I am going to try to get this one all done on the stream. Thanks very much for the link, QP. If you want to see any more of my work, I am going to try to get this whole thing done on the stream, with the exception of painting this white background, because I do spend actually quite a surprising amount of time painting this white background as well, with several layers of paint. Fried Egg, you wish you could see your jaw on the floor. Did you go to my website, Fried Egg? Yeah, you could check out any of my social media as well. I don't post there as often as I should, but certainly, especially some of my larger pieces, they can be found on there, and yeah, they're kind of crazy to paint. So Kill Feeds, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope that you're doing well. Kill Feeds is an artist, and I believe that you are based in New Zealand. Did I get it right this time, Kill Feeds? So yes, welcome back. And Kill Feeds was one of the first people to come in and watch one of my streams when I started just over, like I said, about 5 weeks or so ago. So, and you have a weird sleep schedule right now. And good, I got it right this time. Okay. I know that you were thinking, you were looking to maybe move into Australia. Is that right? Or are you still considering that? All right, so I'm just going to turn this just so we can see. And again, even though it's just a little bit, oh, that's why you've not seen me, because you moved? Oh, okay. Shy Mist, I think, or Mystic, sorry. Shy Mystic, thank you so much for the follow. That's very, very kind. I appreciate it. So you did move, or you've just been still looking to move? We were all a bit jealous of the beauty of the area that Kill Feeds apparently lives in. So a little bit different than over here. Oh, okay, just because of your sleep schedule. Gotcha. Well, welcome back. We're very pleased to see you. And I'm getting better, I think, Kill Feeds, at the Twitch stuff. I'm trying anyway. I feel more practiced at it than I was before. So, all right, so I'm gonna flip this back again. Website not opening form. Oh, for India, maybe I have that blocked. I'm not sure, Pran. I will check the settings on that and try to fix that. There's some filters that I put on my website because people were taking images. And so I will try to fix that for you, Pran, so that maybe you can see some of the other stuff. You could go onto my Instagram if you wanted to see some stuff there. And you have no website, but you do sell prints. I want to show them on your Instagram. Yeah, absolutely, Fried Egg. So there is Fried Egg's link to her Instagram account, or his. I'm sorry, I don't know if you're a her or a he or a she. So I apologize, Fried Egg. But yes. You've got a lot of skills to learn. Hey, you know what? We all do, right? We all just keep building on our skills. So So that's what we do. But yes, sorry about that, Pran. I will get that fixed. But again, just go check on my Instagram and you can see some of my stuff there, or my TikTok. I post a little more frequently, not a whole lot more frequently, but a little more frequently on my TikTok. Just because I find it to be a little easier. I always feel like, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, that Instagram feels very formal to me. Maybe that's a misperception on my part, but it feels like I have to have everything very polished, the videos and the photos and things to put them up there, where I feel like I can be a little more spontaneous on TikTok. So I tend to lean towards TikTok more than Instagram, but I do have stuff in both places. Okay, Fried Egg, thanks so much for clarifying. And I will check out your link then at the end. Oh, a TikTok ban in India, is that right? Well, we still have Instagram then for you, Pran. I apologize. Is that right? I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I understand. I understand. Thank you very much, QP, for sharing my Instagram account. So she's on the ball, right? QP is great. She's definitely very kind in promoting my links and so forth. So I really appreciate it. Always, QP. All right, I'm just gonna mix up a little bit more of these 3 colors. Again, I'm gonna come down here and try to clarify some of these shadows that, again, I use the word wimpy. I feel like they look wimpy right now. So we're just gonna try to punch those up. And I don't want to think of that as a mistake too, by the way. I don't think wimpy shadows at this point. Okay, good, Fried Egg. I don't think that wimpy shadows are bad, at least for me at this point, because just like drawing, if you've drawn much, you know that, when you start a drawing, you really want to go in with some very light, whatever medium you're using, pencil or charcoal or pastel or whatever, that you really want to go in with very light marks first and not start, overcommitting to things before you've figured it out. So I try to employ that in my paintings. And so like this, I would say, is kind of all a nice mid-range. And so instead, I am going to take this mid-range now, knock the shadows back today, and start to pull out the highlights. And that's just because I feel like a lot of the painting is a lot more accurate right now. It's 6:30 here in New Zealand, so I've been going to sleep around now. And when you stream, I'd be sleeping. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kill Feeds. I appreciate you stopping in. I need to experiment, I think, with some different times that I can stream, so that I can reach people who are around the world and on different schedules. So I will try to experiment with that a little bit in the coming months here. So, but I really appreciate you staying up then, I guess, for us right now. Oh, okay. Cupie looked at Fried Eggs work. So yes, everybody else go and check out Fried Egg. So anyway, we all want to be really supportive of each other here, right? Because that's what we should do. That's just the right thing to do. Cop, welcome. It's nice to see you. How are you today? So nice that you've come back. You never know what hour I go to bed. It changes from day to day being an artist. Yeah, I've been there. I do that too. Last night I posted kill feeds to my TikTok because my husband and I both have like odd schedules, right? We both have odd schedules. We both work from home, and he was still working, and it was like 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, something like that. I posted to TikTok, which I hadn't done in a while, just the work that I showed in here yesterday, with a few other photos. And so like, again, I shared some old stuff that I had done to show people kind of like how I progressed as an artist. And I was really shocked because when I got up this morning, I've had like 7,500 views on just a bunch of photos on my TikTok. So you can go over and check that out, especially if you missed the stream yesterday. That's crazy to get that many, because TikTok's very unpredictable for me. Sometimes I'll get hundreds of thousands of views, sometimes I'll get 20,000 views, and sometimes I'll get 10. So it's all over the place. But yeah, 7,500 views roughly, and so that was really nice. I think people appreciated being able to see the honesty of like my old work and where I had come from, and what I paint now. So again, you can check it out on oh, Pran, you like the horse painting? That's one of my favorites. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I showed that one actually on my stream here yesterday too. But yes, that is one of my favorites. And that was one that went viral on TikTok and has like 430,000 views on one video and like 200,000 on a couple more. So I appreciate that. I really think that's one of the, I try to have those particular ones have a little bit of a narrative to them. And so I called that one the Daydreamer. So it's a cookie horse and it's looking up to a little cookie butterfly. And I feel like, it's pondering the possibilities. So I have a description of that piece on my website, but yes, it's pondering the possibilities of freedom, ultimately, because it's monarch butterflies, which are the butterfly that's featured in that painting, are known for resilience and independence, freedom. It's a symbol of all of that. Yes, 200 hours. But I was learning a bit. So I have sped that process up quite a bit, Pran. But yes, so yeah, so that was a neat piece, and I really appreciate it. And Mound, I want to make sure I say hello to you too. So thank you so much, Mound, for coming back today. That I really, really appreciate it. And I hope that you are doing well. You don't do TikTok. You don't like the short form content. I understand. Yeah, social media is a precarious subject for me, Phil Feets. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I don't post super often. I'm trying to be occasionally a little bit better, and I muster up the courage and start doing it again, and then I get a little burned out. So I totally understand. And the only thing I would say with the short form content, I had to experiment a little bit to figure out how to, I don't like, with the short form content, I don't like most TikTok stuff, because I don't like that it's trying to like blare this message at you in 5 seconds, and that's just not me. So I slow it down, and so I just feel that finds its audience. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. But I just try to. You find it weird you're still able to sell art globally, not having any socials. Is that right? You can still sell internationally without. You know what? People will find you, right? I think that's totally cool. And like I said, I burn out on social media a lot, very frequently. So you only have Discord and Twitch, and that's it, Mound? Yeah, I understand. So, and fried egg, where do you pull your inspiration from, or how did you learn or gain those skills? So fried egg, I would say that if you want to know the whole story, or a lot of the story, you can tune into the stream that I did yesterday, because at the beginning, for probably, I don't know, the first half hour, 45 minutes, I showed my old work all the way from when I was a kid up through the stuff that I make now. And so I went to school for art. I went to college for art, but I didn't find it to be a really great training ground. And so I took a long hiatus from making any art. I felt really discouraged. And so I came back to painting when I was about 35, and I taught myself to paint in oils first, realistically. And again, if you just check out my little TikTok that I made early this morning, you can see some of the pieces that I showed yesterday. But yes, I learned to paint in oils, taught myself from watching YouTube videos, buying a lot of books, and I was just bound and determined that I was going to make some point in my life that I was going to be a painter. And then I gradually evolved from there, and I switched to acrylics, which I showed again was a difficult transition for me. And now that's exclusively, I haven't painted in oils in years. It's a little bit cumbersome. So yeah, so everybody's, process, everybody's path is a little bit different, but just, in quick summary, I spent a little bit of time working at Disney World as a caricature artist. Thought about working in animation when I was young, and I started, when I came back to painting, the realistic stuff that I did. You can see in my stream, and one photo from yesterday, you can see that I did this very realistic series, which I just showed a couple pieces yesterday, of concession stands and that were in Florida from baseball stadiums that I had gone to with my husband. And I really enjoyed that series. I really liked doing it, but I started getting yelled at for taking photos there. And so I did not like getting yelled at for that. And so I started thinking about still life. And that was why I transitioned to still life, and then gradually over the years, mostly to food, although I do paint some other things. I have painted some other things. Plo, good morning. And Squatting Cat, welcome. It's so nice to see you. First off, Plo is an amazing artist, so everybody please check out Plo's channel, Plojet there. And she is an amazing graphite artist, but she is also colored pencil artist and also painting. And Squatting Cat is also an incredible artist, and I tuned into her for just a minute last night, and she was painting this beautiful cityscape, and it was just amazing with this amazing sunset in the background, just so wonderful. So Squatting Cat, welcome. It's so nice to see you. And Fried Egg says, definitely awesome, you'll follow. I can relate to school being a bit discouraging. It's amazing how many people say that, which I thought that was like a pretty big admission on my part, but it is amazing. I couldn't do it there. YouTube is a powerful tool, and books, you've been on quite the journey. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad, Fried Egg. That makes me feel good. And Squatting Cat, lovely little hearts there. Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody's path is different. No regrets, right? I mean, you can't have regrets about how things go. What I do now was refined from years of struggle and this burning desire somewhere in the back of my head that someday I would be able to paint. And so I couldn't have done it any differently and still ended up at this point. So I can't be regretting any of that. You finished the tulips, Plo? Have to scan them, figure out how to fix it up, and throw it on Insta. Nice. Yes, Plo was working on a wonderful a wonderful tulip piece. That's right. And Fried Egg, life is a journey, not a destination. Right. You're quoting Bob Marley. I would say I'd quote Miley Cyrus and say it's the climb. So I like that. You're a little more sophisticated than me, Fried Egg, but I really dig the climb. Right. So I think that's a good mantra from any of the wonderful musicians who write something similar. But yes, always about the journey. And so I keep going on my journey and, learning more things and pushing my art a little bit more, I hope, each time. So you love Miley Cyrus too. Okay. I really like the climb. I also used to watch I'm embarrassed to say, should I be embarrassed to say? I used to enjoy watching the Hannah Montana show, like when I was in my 30s. So, but I liked that it was her secret. So it sounds really silly. Anyway, but yes, I enjoy the climb and the philosophy that life is a journey and not a destination. So you used to scream that song, The Climb, is that right? I talk sometimes about the work that my husband did, because he used to work at Disney World when we lived in Florida. He worked there for about 20 years. And one of the places that he worked, because there's a long list of various places that he worked, but one of them was at the American Idol show that used to be there. And so people would come in and they would perform just like an American Idol. And they had a little kind of set of mock judges. And whoever won the finale for the day actually got a real ticket to go and audition for American Idol. And so they had this list of songs that people could do for the show. And one of them was The Climb. And he said that, let's just say people struggled with it. And so the judges or the people backstage, as they were auditioning to be on the show, somebody would come in and say, I'm going to sing The Climb. And they'd be like, oh, let me try something a little simpler for you, because it was most of the time kind of disastrous for people. It's a difficult song to sing. So I always thought that was funny because, yeah, I love the climb, but apparently very difficult. Yeah, very difficult to sing. So we'll let Miley do it. She does it best. And Cupid, you love Hannah Montana and the climb. Is that right? You were probably more age appropriate for watching the show. I was a bit old for that, but I like imagination and I like silly things, and so I kind of got into it. So anyway, but yeah, I like the climb very much. So, so yeah, no shame in that. No shame in that. I'm just gonna turn this back. Just this little bit right here, we already started to refine that, so that's really good. And yeah, fried egg. So I'm gonna come over here. This is another part where I feel is really lacking. Just turn up the music to the max so you can't hear your own voice. There you go. I used to have a really, so I will say I have a mild music background. When I went to school, there was a time in my life when I was going to college that I considered double majoring in music and art. And I was kind of talked out of that because they're both so many credit hours. And so I did actually take voice lessons for a number of years, performed in a lot of, just local shows, high school shows and so forth. And I play the piano, and but I missed like being on stage for a while. And so when I moved to Florida and I was finishing college down there, I had a 45-minute commute 5 days a week to my school for my classes. And I would be there all day because my art classes were like 3 hours long a piece. And I got to go on this toll road that had very little traffic. And so I would sing like Broadway tunes at the top of my lungs, like 45 minutes to school some days. So, but I don't think I can do it anymore, fried egg. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of the neighbors by singing that loudly. I used to have a neighbor in Florida too that he had no shame. He lived next door, and every Friday night, I guess he was really happy that he was done with work. And so he would get drunk out in the backyard and he would put on 80s tunes and just like sing at the top of his lungs so loud. I knew every song that he was singing. So I don't want to be that guy. Plo, it still weirds me out. The one who played her brother on the show was in his 30s. Was he really? I didn't know that. Plo, you're destroying my my sentimentality for the show. Was he really? That's crazy. Killfeeds, I think you would really enjoy Mafra's voice. She's my fave female artist right now. Her vocal range is insane. I've not heard of her before. So I will have to check that out, Killfeeds. I will have to Google that to find out what she is. Wow, yes, they both take up an immense amount of time and dedication. You went to college for music. Did you really, fried egg? And so what is your specialty? Just curious. Painting was your first love, though. That's interesting. We both had kind of the same, general interest or direction, and we both took the opposite sort of paths. So, Killfeeds, is this one of her, a link to her? I will check that out at the end of the show, but anybody else is welcome to check out what Killfeeds has posted there. If you would like to. Pran, which show? You mean the Hannah Montana show? Is that what you're asking about? It was on like the Disney Channel, I think. So there's a link for later. Yeah, thanks very much, Killfeeds. Was he really, Plo? That's disturbing. I know I used to watch Smallville. I'm showing my age a little bit again. But again, I was much older when Smallville was on, and it was kind of silly, right? But I know those kids in that show were close to 30 as well. So she's covering Sleep Token there. Okay, Killfeeds. Yeah, I will have to check it out. Oh, and Fried Egg already did. So nice. Very, very nice. All right, so I'm going to come in here, and I think I need to turn this. So we're going to turn this again because I need to see this more objectively. It really is a constant training tool for my brain to do this. You also make music, but you don't tell many people here. Art and music have been your whole life. Is that right, Kill Feeds? That's surprising to me, just to know. The more people that I talk to, the more that seems to be maybe not common for everybody, but common for a lot of people. And that's really wonderful. So yeah, maybe we all just are drawn in those creative directions. A lot of people have very diverse interests, but surprising to me how many other people both loved art and music. So nice. What do you do, Kill Feeds, with your music? I just play for myself now, and I very rarely get to do it anymore. I used to play for my kitties, but yes. So yeah. I have no regrets again, though. I'm glad I still didn't choose that for my direction. I was never particularly great at the piano. I was an okay singer. I've played guitar your whole life and play classical piano like Chopin. Oh my gosh, you're way better than me. But you make hip hop and metal. How cool. How cool is that? So amazing. Is it anything that you share? Do you share links to that? Because you're, again, welcome to always share in here links to anything that you would like to. That's very cool. I never really was able to tackle classical music very well. So I did not really get to have much of an opportunity to do that. I've tried to go back occasionally and teach myself, but again, everything takes time, right? And so sometimes I'm just short on, I wish I had 10 lifetimes to be able to learn and do all the things that I would like to do. But yeah, that was one thing that I have always kind of regretted, that I didn't get to learn more classical piano music. Fried egg, freaking awesome. I'm so glad I stumbled upon this tree. My art is full. Aw, thanks so much, fried egg. That makes me feel good. I have to say that I just am so fortunate to have so many wonderful people come in here. So I did not, this was not my idea. This was my husband's idea. I had looked at other artists doing Twitch like years ago, and for like 5 minutes, and I thought, that's really cool, but that's not something that I would be able to do. And so not too long ago, he was like, you should just do it. You're painting anyway. I'll set it up for you, and you'll just see if people want to come in and watch and chat. And I was like, all right, I'll do it, but I'm nervous. And so I'm really pleased to see how many people are just so kind and like-minded. So that's really nice. Yes, QB. Thank you, Mr. Q. He worked really hard to get this whole thing up and running, and he still works hard for me because he's in the other room and he watches. And so if I have any technical difficulties, he comes in and fixes them for me, and sets it up beforehand, because this is surprisingly not easy to do. And so he has to take quite a while out of each day to get things going for me before I get going. So anyway, yeah, thanks so much, Fried Egg. I really appreciate it. You have links to it, but I tend not to share. Oh, no worries. It hurts me because I put so much effort in past. Never turned up. Oh, is that right? My hip hop group has 16 members in it, and jazz infused hops. So cool, Kill Feeds. Well, I'll leave the door open for you. If you ever choose to share anything that you either had done in the past or that you're working on now or working on in the future, just hop in here and you are welcome to share the links. So if you want to test things out among a group of really nice people, you are welcome to come in here and do that. But yeah, so thank you so much to, again, everybody who comes in here and is always kind and supportive. And one of the reasons that I've said that I was a little trepidatious is because I don't super love social media, right? And so I just was like a little nervous that things could go awry. How's that? So I've been pleasantly surprised, and that things are that everyone is really kind and supportive and encouraging. And I just love that there's this sense of community here. And any bad actors, we just ban you. So if you do anything that even remotely makes not just me, but any people that I support on here, anybody that makes any of us feel whatever uncomfortable, we just ban you. So we want nice people in these that are all supportive and uplifting for each other, and that's what we do. So that's right, fried egg. So okay, so Killfeeds has shared a link, and again, please feel free to check that out, and I will check that out at the end of the stream, Killfeeds. And I'm so glad that you have shared a link to some of your music. So very, very cool. Very, very cool. So yes, you know, it's just, when I shared my stuff yesterday, I talked a little bit about how there is in various art circles, and certainly when I was going to school, there's this section of the creative world that's very bullying, right? And I felt shamed for many years for the way that I paint, for the stuff that I wanted to paint, thinking that I would never get my skill level up. And that was wrong. It was just flat out wrong. It was wrong for, first of all, for me to allow people to make me feel that way. But it was also wrong for the people who did, some of which were my teachers. And so we want to be kind and supportive and uplifting to each other so that we can all, I want everybody who is a creative person to basically feel empowered to make the work that they want to make. So I'm happy to share some tips on things that I do. So many other artists on here are sharing tips for things that they do. And, you know, you just kind of, you assimilate the information that's good for you. And, you know, you just, you know, admire the stuff that, you know, maybe you're not going to use, but you can just admire somebody else's process. We ride it, Dawn. You're killing me here. Fried egg. Very, very cute. Yeah, it's a, well, I'll just say I like the positivity on here. How about we'll stick with that. I like the positivity on here. If I'm going to do anything, you know, with, sharing what I do, I always say, please don't take what I say as gospel, right? This is just what I do. But there's lots of other artists, both here and, you know, on YouTube and so forth, that you can watch and learn from and, you know, just enjoy, again, watching their process. So some of them are in the chat right now. So again, Squatting Cat, Plo, like just wonderful, wonderful artists everywhere. And so, I don't understand, I don't understand people who feel the right to bully. I have a very hard time wrapping my brain around that. And so I don't ever want anybody to feel that way. You have about 12,000 monthly listeners? What? Killfeeds, you were underselling yourself. My goodness. Very, very cool. A lot in your own country wouldn't know who you are. Is that right? That's crazy. Well, what you know, fried egg, I gotta, like, I don't even know if it was all intended badly. I think that sometimes people just, I'll just say different people in different circles have a hubris about them, right? You think that you've been educated for a long time. And yeah, so what you gonna do? We're on a commercial break though, so I don't wanna ramble about that while we're doing a commercial break. But anyway, we'll just keep it positive here. So yeah, so over here, I'm just gonna again try to refine some of these shadow details, and then we're going to come back and we're going to start, well, we'll work on the shadows down here on the cone too, but we're going to come back and then start to build out the highlights, and that's going to be fun. It's hard to understand because you yourself would never want to make someone feel that way. Yeah, I wouldn't. That's very hard. It's very hard to understand people who get off on that. So, you know, But there's a lot of them, so they're out there. But I do still think that, as we say in here, there are more good people than bad people. So I don't think, I think it's my choice to not be, not let the world discourage me. I'm just gonna keep pushing on, right? That's what we gotta do, keep pushing on. So yeah, so we, you know, I think I said something to that effect yesterday, where, you know, you just, just very important to not let the world defeat you, to just keep pushing forward regardless. So we can learn from anything, good or bad. Yeah, that's right. And again, that's kind of what I you know, talked about, like my path. Like I wouldn't choose it any other way. I might say that some of it was very difficult, you know, but I wouldn't choose it any other way, because then I wouldn't be me. And so that's just part of life. You have to go through good and bad. And so, and you know, some of that, when I say the term shame, some of that is simply, you know, my interpretation, right? It's not all direct, like you should be ashamed, but it's feeling like for example, if I was not able to adapt the lessons of a particular class in the way that was preferable, I wasn't not necessarily punished for it. I just felt punished for it, if that makes sense. And then I just felt discouraged because, you know, I wasn't one of the favorites. But, you know, I wanted to paint realism. That was what I wanted to do when I was taking these classes. I thought that I would just magically learn to, I guess, assimilate the knowledge that I needed, and not understanding that there's different methodologies, because I was young, right? Not understanding that there's different methodologies for teaching, and they're not all appropriate for everyone. So again, I think experience is your best teacher. And when I came back to being a painter, or, you know, I guess you want to call that, began being a painter when I was in my mid-30s, I could start to seek out all the information that I wanted to learn. And I said that right before that, I used to, or during that time when I was coming back to it, yesterday I mentioned, and I have on other streams as well, but so I spent 5 years as the editor of a small art magazine. And so during that time, I basically treated it like my resource, even if I didn't have the skill set. I didn't have a very good skill set at that point, but I treated it like a resource. Like, okay, if someday I want to be a painter, what do I need to know? And who needs to answer those questions for me? And whose work do I really love? And so part of my job was to reach out to artists and interview them. And so, so I thought about, the magazine was supposed to help other artists on that same path. And so I thought, okay, if I put myself in their shoes, and if I want to someday learn these things, who can I talk to about that? And so that was probably the best learning experience for me, because I really could interview people. So I mentioned, you know, like there was an artist that I interviewed, one of the last artists that I interviewed when I was there. His name was Mel Leipzig, and he was a wonderful acrylic artist. And you should Google him if you don't know who he is. I've mentioned him before on here, but I really loved his work. Mel Leipzig. And so he did these solitary figures in rooms that were often very cluttered and messy. And the thing that I learned from his interview was that he was an acrylic painter, and he worked in this very limited palette. So it's very similar to what I use now. And so, you know, I just kind of picked up little bits of knowledge as I went. And yeah, so can't have any regrets about anything, because all of those little experiences that I had over the years, I would not have had otherwise. So I, you know, anyway, that's my path roughly. And again, you can check out my stream from yesterday if you want to see the pieces that I had from some of that path. So anyway, but yeah, we all take a different path, and it all contributes to who we are today. So anyway, I really appreciate everybody being here. I really appreciate everybody who tuned in yesterday as well. So thank you so much for that. You feel the same way. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. Yeah, we are who we are because of the path that we took. We can't really feel bad about that. And so, anyway, I can say that maybe it would have been nice in some way in my head if I had been a painter when I was young, but not really. I'm at a stage now where I know what I want to accomplish with my painting and where I want to go, even if I want to keep, developing my skills to get there. And I wouldn't have had that path otherwise. So character building, there you go. Good way to look at it. I'm one of those people who really loves learning. So even if I don't have, even if I have some things in my past where I feel like they weren't great learning experiences, kill feeds, no worries. I appreciate that. For Kim and Mr. Kim, thank you so much, kill feeds. Thank you for sharing your links to your music as well, and I will check those out. And yes, please get some sleep. So thank you for stopping in today. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure Mr. Kim is very grateful as well. So thank you. Yeah, so I'm one of those people who really loves learning. So, I try. Again, I wish I had 10 lifetimes to learn all the things that I want to learn. I don't think that I had necessarily that mentality. When I was young. So, but now I just want to learn. And so one of the things that I mention on here occasionally is that I am learning to garden. So I'm a second-year gardener, and I'm doing better this year than I did last year, and that's really all I can ask for. And now I know more this year for things that I messed up that I will hopefully do better next year. So, which is why your paintings have such depth, because you do, and that's your journey thus far. Thanks very much. A green thumb. We'll say it's a pale green thumb right now. I'm working on it. I do have, like I said, a lot more success this year than last year. So I'm very content with what I've been able to do out there, and it will, I know, be better next year. So thanks very much, Friday. Yeah. So all of those things contribute to, my work. So even, I grew up in a very small town and had a lot of, rural area around me. So some of that can be discerned in some of my paintings, particularly my cookie landscape series. So you can see kind of that rural upbringing come through in that. And so, yeah, everything contributes to who we are. So, but definitely the green thumb, my hope is that if I learn how to do that, because I think that everybody should have some degree of self-sufficiency. And so if I can learn to do that well, that I can share it with you and anybody out there who would like to pick it up, maybe again, you don't have to struggle as much as I did. Because one thing that I mentioned on here before is both for the painting and for the gardening, I have learned that one drawback for doing certain types of research on these things, including watching a lot of YouTube videos. I said that last year I had watched like 50 YouTube videos, and I was like, okay, I'm ready. I know what to do out there. And did not. And I failed in many spectacular ways. And the part of the reason I have learned is that the real nitty-gritty of stuff really only comes with experience. And so that's partly why I do this and share what I do here for the painting. But yeah, also for the gardening, again, if I can work through the nitty-gritty of it and share that kind of thing, because nitty-gritty stuff doesn't get clicks. So people don't often make articles and videos and stuff about those things, they make the big headlines. And so being around stillness and real-time nature, less screen time, and more real experiences. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. So, at this point, I can share all the stuff I do with my paintings, right? But at this point, I know I'm well over, I estimated yesterday maybe 500 paintings. I think it's probably actually several hundred more than that, if I'm really being honest. So I have a lot of paintings under my belt, so I can tell you things, but you kind of just have to, if you want to try them, you just have to do them. I can't explain all of it until you actually get in there and do it. So same with the gardening, nobody could have explained some of those things to me because my yard is different, my light is different, my seasons are different, my ground is different, and so it's all different. Mileage is a huge factor in art. Yes, Plo, definitely. Yeah, definitely, and definitely fried egg. So yeah, definitely learn a lot from experience. So one reason why I say if you're going to experiment in art, like when I was young, or younger, not young, when I started painting professionally, let's say that, when I started painting professionally in my mid-30s, one of the first things that I became, after I did my initial body of work that was those oil paintings, and I stopped, getting yelled at or wanted to move on to doing still life, I started becoming a daily painter, which meant that I did lots of small works and kind of pumped out several of them a week to try to develop my skill set and still be able to sell them at a reasonable price. So, these are not like, so I always say like, this is a little one that we worked on, right? So we did this last week, and I have a set of 3 of these from different stages of this ice cream cone. And so working small, if you're going to try to experiment or learn a new skill set, is often much better than trying to launch into a giant piece and feeling overwhelmed with it. So it's not bad to push yourself, certainly, but I think that working small and doing lots and lots and lots of small paintings or small drawings or small gardening or whatever is much more conducive to improving the quickness of your learning process than trying to tackle one giant painting that you dedicate a month or 3 months to. So yes, exactly. Experience, memory, muscle memory, and repetition flow. Yeah, definitely. Because even the way that I paint now, which again, I learn with every piece that I do, but I 10 years ago couldn't have fathomed being able to paint like this. Again, if you look at the stuff that I was struggling with, that I showed in my stream or on my TikTok, showed in my stream yesterday, like you'll see, like some of it was bad. It was really bad, especially when I tried to transition to acrylics. That was not an easy transition at all. So, it's just doing it many, many times. We've been taught to draw inside of perfect lines. The scariest part is realizing that the lines won't always be perfect, and that's where the fun starts. That's right. Part of, I mentioned I use this glazing process, right? So the glazing process is a bunch of translucent layers. I can see all the layers of paint through each other layer, and I like that. I like being able to see that this is not this very, what do I want to call it? Not this very sophisticated, big blended painting, but instead just tens of thousands of marks of paint in all of these translucent layers that all build up on each other, and that you can see the human-made quality of that. So yeah, so actually no texture. Don't have any texture. I just imply texture. So the paintings, they look very textured, but they are totally flat. I don't have any texture on that, but I do try to imply the texture in the paintings there. So yeah, and that's just, again, my style. So again, what I say isn't gospel, right? Yeah, it's not gospel, but it's just my way of doing things. It's what I found works for me and what I really like. Yeah, so fried egg. I think some people are very surprised. So if you go like on my website and you look at like my my cookie pieces, for example, I think some people are very surprised to know that they are flat. I know that they're very surprised because I had one video showing a bunch of them go viral on TikTok, and nobody understood that they were flat. So they were totally flat, but they're painted to look like they are, you know, wavy textures of frosting and, you know, treats and so forth. So yeah, that one had that particular video, I think, has over 200,000 views that had all of those pieces. It's a matter of blending them so smooth, but painted to look like texture. Yeah, so all of my layers, I just apply them very, very thinly with lots of different marks. And you're gonna see in a second here, because I'm gonna hop down here for right now. I'm just gonna let this dry a little bit. I'll hop back up here in a second, but I'm gonna hop down here. But you'll see I have very different ways of applying my marks to my surface. And so one of the ways that I'm going to show right now is I use this weird little brush that is just simply a worn down brush, but you can see like all of the brushes, all the little hairs are sticking out. And so I apply texture by basically stippling this paint layer over layer over layer on here. So so this is all dry, so it's not actually blended. I call it an optical blend. I don't know if that's my term or not. Yeah, so so I do that here, and I will also do it a little bit up here as I go, just to try to imply, again, kind of the ice cream texture, but not actual like touchable texture. So yeah, kind of weird, I guess. Again, that's kind of my thing, but I want to go in here to a few of these places where I feel like the shadow needs to be. Thanks, I appreciate that. Again, it's just kind of like I struggled when I was painting some very large ice creams a number of years ago, and I had to find a solution to try to make things look more realistic. So this was one of the experiments that I did, and it was the one that I stuck with. So so I'm going to just go in here now, actually, and mix up a color that I can use to kind of deepen my shadows a bit. Again, I work a little bit forward, a little bit backwards sometimes, but I'm going to blow this up a little bit, and I'm going to thin it out with a little bit more medium. And I want to make sure it is a little bit duller with the blue, that it's not too hot, as I call it. I want it to be a little bit duller because we're going to build up the other colors on top of it. But let's just see here. It might be still a little bit too dark, but I might be able to fix that. Yeah, there we go. So what I've done is I've mixed this color up. Instead of adding white to lighten it, I've just added lots of medium to thin it. And so I try, when I look at my paintings, to think, how do I build up these layers? And I'm thinking how they interact with each other. And so I know, again, from experience, that if I go in and simply add more medium to my paint, as opposed to adding white to lighten it, it will inevitably look lighter as I apply it over another color. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that in a few places here. I've heard of medium so many times, I need to finally listen. That's funny. Yeah, I will say, you know, again, I always say that I am still learning, and that is not me exaggerating. And so I've used medium for many years, but I would say that, again, like we say that, you know, all the experiences build up to who we are today. Yeah, I never use water. I never use water. The only reason the water here is to clean my brush, and when I clean my brush, then I wipe it off on my paper towel here. So yes, that's right, Flo. If you ever stop learning, that's the day you stop growing. Very, very good philosophy. And again, for anybody who hasn't checked out Flo's channel, please go ahead and do that. So yeah, so I learned that just adding this medium in here helps me to achieve different effects. But what I was going to say is the cookie series that I did last year, which are these incredibly complicated, very time-consuming pieces, taught me more than anything else I'd ever done in my painting career. And so I still refined a lot of my approaches to my ice cream based on what I did with my cookie pieces last year, including this. So I used medium prior to that, but I would say I didn't use it in exactly the same way. And so yeah, so again, I just had to go through that stage of experimenting to get different effects. And it really has significantly, I would say significantly changed my whole, you're on Amazon right now. It significantly changed my approach to my painting. So my cookie pieces, you know, I wanted them to, they were incredibly complex. If you haven't seen them, please head over to my website and just check them out. And I realized that they're small. You can find videos of them on my TikTok, but, you know, I needed to be able to imply lots of texture. And, yes, so it is just a little bit, right? And then when you look at it really closely, and again, we'll have many more layers on it. And I know this doesn't like really focus well like that, but you can see they're not traditional brush strokes, right? They're just lots of marks, and you can see all of the marks peeking through one another. And to me, that looks much more organic, much more convincing, rather than just blending paint. Do you choose the direction that the light is shining before painting? That's funny that you say that. I do. Sometimes I'm a little bit wonky with it, but I do try to keep that philosophy in mind that even though, you know, I take my own photos, right? So I try to get things lit pretty well, and I edit them in Photoshop or on my phone before I use them. But yes, I have learned that you have to choose a direction for your light, because even when you light things, you will inevitably have other competing light sources in your reference image. And so it's a very good idea to simply make a note to yourself as you work through a painting that says, I can see where the light's coming. So in this one, if I look at this, I can see there's very heavy shadows over here on this side. There's kind of lighter shadows over here. My light source really is primarily right here. So right here is going to be my strongest light source, right through here, and everything else kind of tapers off to the sides. Yes, so it's a lesson, right, or put shadow on more things than needed, right? So it's a lesson that I actually learned, again, because I say I keep learning, right? That I actually, maybe I was doing it subconsciously. I think it's good to articulate things, though, to keep you going. And I was watching a video with my husband last year that was from a very well-known comic book artist, and he is an excellent draftsman. And he actually used those words. You need to choose a direction for your light. And I thought, that's what I do. I've just never said it out loud. But yes, it was very, very helpful to hear that from him and know. And then I consciously now go into each painting, or I try to consciously go into each painting and think, okay, I need to be very, 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 very consciously aware of that direction for my light that I am choosing. So even if I have, again, competing light sources, where is my actual light that I want the painting to have? Yes, it seems so small, but it's really the biggest tool. Yeah, it really is. All these little things, right, that you just pick up, again, just kind of listening in on other people, and then you're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? Or why didn't I think to word it that way? So yes, and like Plo said, you know, we always want to be learning. We always want to be learning, because that's how we grow. So yes, so I mean, if I say again, I was a pretty good painter, I think. And then last year when I started that series, I learned so much more about color, about light, about implying texture, And so yeah, so it really pushed me forward. It was a huge training ground for me to continue to improve my work. I want to be careful here, you know, as I do this, to first, I don't want to be heavy-handed, right? And again, I have a lot of medium mixed in with this. So thanks, Frederick. I have a lot of medium mixed in with this. So that helps me to control it a little bit better. And also, again, to make it thin enough that I can see all those colors underneath peeking through. My other option would have been I would have had to add white to it to make it lighter, and that would have also made it duller and pastier. So by simply mixing more medium into it, now suddenly I have a color that actually works to achieve what I am looking for here. So there's different ways to get different effects, and not every bath is going to be the same for every painting, right? So this is just, I know how these layers are going to interact with each other on this one. So this is what's going to work on this particular one. You had that issue with acrylic because it's really thick. So yes, I most of the time only use heavy body acrylics. So that is what is on here. I keep them on a wet paper towel or a damp paper towel, and that keeps them wet all day and actually usually into tomorrow. The medium is magic. I will say, Friday, again, I changed my process again over the last year or two, where I actually used to mix a little bit of water into my medium, and then so I did that for what, 7 or 8 years, and then now I don't use not any at all. So now it's just straight medium, and that is what I use. So yeah, it changed, and I think it changed my paintings too. So it gives you some air or space. Yeah, it gives you a lot. It gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of opportunity to it gives you a lot of opportunity to experiment. And so, you know, I think that, you know, not everything has to be an immediate success, right? But it's definitely worth the experiment. You already ordered it? Is that what you say? Yeah, so painting medium, it is magic. And it's, you know, it's very different for me from, I think that the difficulty that I had, or one difficulty that I had, transitioning from oils to acrylics. Yeah, of course, I hope it works out, and you know, just practice. So I had this difficulty because I was trying very hard to, at first, there were two things I will say if I look back on it. First, I was trying very hard to make my acrylics behave like my oils and be very blendy, you know, blendable, just soft stuff, and that did not work. And then I was trying to basically emulate what I saw lots of other acrylic painters did, and I did even have some books, and it took me a long time to realize that they were not painting in the style that I wanted to paint. So what I did was I instead tried to find a way to exploit the properties that I liked about the acrylics and kind of merge that with what I missed about the oils. And the truth is that in the oils, again, if you look at the stuff that is that right? You were just about to ask that. If you look at the stuff, yeah, if you look at the stuff that I did in the oils, I have an ad break, so I just don't want to make sure I talk over. Can you hear me? I don't know if Friday can hear me, but I don't want to answer your question until we're back. So you let me know. But anyway, so we're going to keep going here. Just do a little bit more, and then we'll let that dry, and I'll hop back up to the top. So yeah, and I'm probably going to have to come in here again, actually, with some shadow, just a little bit deeper. You loved oil because it gave you time. You struggled with drying time and switched to acrylic, then watercolor. You love them all, though. They all have their ups and downs, right? They all have their good and bad. And so the trick is just finding what you're comfortable with, I guess, right? And yeah, I was going to say that, I found that for me, I have 23 seconds, so I want to make sure I don't talk over, that I'm not giving too direct of an answer right now before we come back from the commercial, in case anybody can't hear me, especially you, fried egg. But when I was painting, okay. So when I was painting in oils, I wanted to just make sure that you could hear me, fried egg. When I was painting in oils, the pieces that you will see yesterday, I didn't do this for all of my oil paintings, but the ones that I really loved were ones where I worked in multiple layers that I would actually wet sand in between the layers, which was crazy. And they're beautiful. They're beautiful pieces, and again, very smooth, because I wet sanded in between. And so I put a whole layer of paint across and just let it dry, and then wet sand it and come back to it. When I was doing smaller oil paintings, I was blending them. But when I went to acrylics, what I realized was that the thing that I really missed about the oils wasn't the blending. It was the layering that I was doing in those pieces that I was sanding. So what I wanted to do was find a way to adapt that into what I do here. So that's part of the reason why I work in layers, instead of, again, trying to blend things. It wasn't so much that I missed the blendability. But I will say, again, that was one of those things where I felt like, well, other acrylic artists, this is what they do. They blend it. I should just learn to blend it. And at a certain point, I just had to say, no, that's not what's going to work for me. I got to do it the way it's going to work for me. And so I gave up the idea of blending my acrylics and instead thought, okay, how do I layer them? So that's what I've been working on for the last, 8 years-ish, is how to layer my acrylics instead. Yes, instead of doing it all at once, right? So just a different thing. Hi, Pran, you're back. Okay, awesome. It's again very late, Pran, so I appreciate very much that you're being here. The blending does take away from the dimensions in the colors. Yeah, I mean, everything, there's some beautiful paintings where I know that people blend, and that's totally fine. It's just not what I like to do. I like, for me, having this very organic quality to what I make, and I feel like that is best executed with layers, with paint layers. So today is Sunday, is that right, Pran? So this is a weekend day for you, is that right? So yeah, so every process is different. Like I said, I don't want anybody to ever think that what I say in here is gospel, because, this is just what works for me in my style. So you've gotten more into realism because of that. Is that right? Yeah, so everybody's a little bit different. You just have to find what works for you. I'm going to come in here on this side. I've mixed this to be a little bit more green. And so this shadow color over here is a little bit different, but I just want to come in and see if I can get this to be just a bit more accurate. I'm still going to come back and refine this a bit more, and come in here with some detail, but we're just going to go kind of roughly over all of this. And you're learning realism. I like pieces that take me more time. You know what? That's the thing. So I like the idea of practicing with small pieces. It doesn't necessarily mean quick pieces. When I said that when I did the daily painting things, technically, again, because I'm kind of a rebel, right? I'm a rebel. Daily paintings are supposed to take a day. That's why they're called daily paintings, but I very rarely actually took a day. Usually I would take 2 or 3 days on my daily paintings. And the only thing that I really kept the same was that they were small. And so that helped me to learn. But I do think that was one of the things for me that again, was, again, maybe not the bullying per se, but one of the things that made me feel inferior as an artist was that I couldn't paint fast, that I couldn't just, sit down and make this beautiful blended canvas in 24 hours. And, it just was, it still continues, like, even because, you're competing on, one of the reasons why I don't super love social media is because you're competing against people who can do that, right? That they can just sit down and make these things. And I will say that I know that, spilling my water, I know that in person, my paintings are very, very detailed. And they are very beautiful because you could see all those layers of paint peek through. What you see on a tiny social media screen isn't the same. And so sometimes people look at, things on their screens for various artists, and maybe they think it looks similar to something that I do, but I guarantee that it's not. Maybe that's, again, just me being very protective of my process and my work, but I know that it's not. I've seen enough art in real life. I know what it looks like. And so so I like taking more time on my pieces to make them look really magical and really different, because I want them to be incredibly unique and incredibly beautiful in real life. I don't want to just pump stuff out quickly because I need it to do well on social media. So that's just not how I roll, right? So you kept trying to get everything done in one session, but when I was done, you were like, oh shoot, now what do you do? So now you try to slow down and add more detail because it gives you more time to connect with it. Yeah, me too. Me too. And Pran, you are a social media person. Is that right? Yes. So social media, I think that in a lot of ways, and again, this is just my opinion, right? Because I ramble here. I think that social media in a lot of ways has been somewhat damaging to artists, because you are no longer just trying to make great work. You're trying to compete with the algorithm so that you can suddenly get noticed and have lots and lots of people follow you, and that will push you out. And so is that right, Pran? Your work is social media? Okay, yeah. And Plo, and Friday, yes, I go through it. I go through it. Sometimes you think you just want to delete it all. Like I said, I don't do very much. The TikTok video that I posted at like 1 a.m. last night, or 1:30 a.m., whatever that was. You're a YouTube manager, is that right, Pran? Very, very cool. That's probably a really neat job. Very, very cool. Yeah, the video that I posted last night, I think that was the first one that I posted onto TikTok in I don't know, at least a week or two. I don't think I've actually posted, embarrassingly, to Instagram in several months. So yeah, I go through it. I like the fact that you have to do, I don't like the fact you have to do reels to get any traction. Yes. So it's like doubling up on the work that you have to do, because you are really trying to compete for that attention. I find that Instagram is, maybe I know there's some people who make it work, and it just takes me so much time to put together a reel, Plo. And then when I do, I get like 10 views, and that stinks. So I can do it a lot easier on TikTok, and I feel like the algorithm favors me a little more there, but not all the time and not consistently. So you're here for those of us who want to be off socials just to do the painting part. That's right. We're doing something different here, and it's peaceful, right? I think it's peaceful anyway. I try to make this a peaceful place for people, because social media, like, it can wreak havoc on your brain. And so I burn out from it. I get tired of it. I try, even when I post to it, to tailor it to more what I am, and not try to do what everybody else does. And again, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, but I can't change who I am just to try to satisfy social media. So yeah, it's a balance. If it's your business, you know, you have to do it. It's a good way to reach people, and there's a lot of people who have been very, very kind on various social media platforms to me, and that I found through that. But particularly in recent years, I would say it's been very difficult to manage it. And it says, been a manager, this is our fault to push the creator to make well, it's not your fault, Pran. So but yes, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to reach people, and you know, on any platform. So I like this one right now. I mean, again, I'm fairly new here, so it's been about 5 weeks. But you like creative people. We're like branches on a tree. Everyone does something different, but we all contribute to one another. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I like the idea of this being more just conversation. And in some ways, I feel like it's old-fashioned with like me opening up my studio door and showing you what I do. And so, you know, it's like people just, you know, when they like artists or art lovers or whoever, just popping in now and then to see what other artists are working on. And so that feels more comfortable for me than trying to compete. But again, I would say, you know, the thing that I posted last night, which is, I would have thought contrary to TikTok, right? It was just a series of like 8 or 10 photos. That's all, just a slideshow. And just talked about what I basically did on my stream on here yesterday, and showed some of those photos of current work that I do and some photos of the really old stuff that I did, to kind of walk through part of that transition for me, and that learning process. And it performed really well. And a lot of people, it always makes me feel good when I do post something on social media and someone either says that the work that I make means a lot to them, or that sharing what I do in some sort of honesty encourages them to try something new themselves. And so any kind of positivity that comes out of it, that's what I want to do. I do really tire of people who I feel are overdoing it. I don't know what else to say. Overdoing it. I think there's a lot of people who overdo it, and you know, it works for them, I guess. They get the algorithm going for them, and there's certainly ways to do that. But yes, posting yourself is important and a powerful movement. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a balance, I guess. We have to find the best ways to work with social media that are going to reach the people that we wouldn't reach otherwise without compromising who we are and what we do, I guess. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I am going to come back to it because I can see, you know, some areas that need to be enhanced a little bit more. Finding our tribe, that's a good way to say it. Staying organic, quality over quantity. Yeah, I guess I'm, you know, there's the tortoise and the hare, right? So if I'm definitely the tortoise in that story. So let's hope that, you know, someday I will reach the finish line, and I'm hoping, I suppose, that is more, I feel like that's just more conducive to the type of work that I want to make. Because again, you know, even an ice cream cone, right? What I'm trying to do is to show that there's beauty in very simple things, and I want you to get really close and admire it. I want you to see all the beautiful brush marks in here. I want you to slow down, take a few moments to look at it, and then appreciate little things in your own life. If I was making like an in-your-face TikTok video, then that would not be conducive to that message, right? So video about making good story, that's a big matter. Yes, I would agree with that, Pran. Yes, definitely, if you can tell a good story, that is a much better way to go, rather than competing for that initial burst of attention. I just don't want to be that guy. I'm definitely the tortoise and the hare. So Hi, Haru. Nice to see you. Welcome back. So nice that you came back. All right, I'm gonna hop up here. I'm gonna flip this upside down because again, I say that sometimes I have to do that, right? So we're gonna flip this upside down. I'm gonna work on the top section of this. So true, we need that in the world. We need realness and connection. Yeah, I think there's enough of the other stuff that we don't need any more of that. That's just, again, my personal opinion, but I agree. I agree. This is neat. I'm, you know, again, I'm kind of dorky sometimes, but this is neat. On Twitch, that y'all can come out and hang out with me and have real connection. So yes, Pran. Yeah, so, you know, real connection is good, I think. And so this is a beautiful thing. And I am, again, I'm pleasantly surprised at how this is going for me on Twitch, and that I've met so many nice people who have been coming into my chat and hanging out with me for a while. So, but now the ice cream will drop. I will do my best through my magical powers to keep it upright, to keep it up there so that it will not drop, Haru. Thank you. All right, so let's just take a look. I just want to see if there's any places in here where I really want to go in and work on some shadow areas before. I know, Jake, right? I am so close. Thank you so much for coming in today. So close to 100 followers, which is crazy. So I just, like I said, I think I've only been doing this for like 5 weeks, maybe 6. But so amazing. So many people have come in and followed, and the subscribers and everything. It's just amazing. So thank you so much again to everybody. Aw, that's really nice, Fried Egg. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much. I am, I'm just so glad you're here. So thank you. I'm going to just come right in here. I'm going to work on a few little details. What I really want to do today is to try to bring up some highlights. And again, I'll work back and forth between highlights and shadows and so forth today, but I do want to bring up some highlights because sometimes, even if it's a little bit out of order, welcome back, Cupie. Even if it's a little bit out of order, I want to see things that encourage me, that makes me think that I'm going in the right direction. It's good to say hi when you wake up. That's so kind, Haru. Thank you so much. Any creator, 100 followers, a big achievement. Thank you so much, Pran. I really appreciate that. I honestly, I said this yesterday. I didn't know that anybody would watch. So I am very honored that y'all are taking out your time in your day and spending it with me. That really means a lot to me. And yeah, I'm not even sure how to process that, but I do really appreciate it very, very much. I'm going to go in and just work on just a little bit on this pecan here. I feel like this needs to have a little bit of definition before I move on. I'll come back to it. I need to do a lot more on here, but I just want to get a little bit of definition on this right now, and then I will work on some highlights. So again, we're going to work back and forth, but I definitely want to get to the highlights because I want to show you guys the difference when I start to apply these other blue and red as opposed to the blue and red that I used here. And it does make a big difference. So let's just do a few quick little things on this. And again, the best thing that I do, I think, is you have to have patience when you work in acrylics. And I like to bounce all over my paintings, but I say that because I want to essentially let things dry and not try to finish any one area too quickly. So like right here, I'm just gonna put a few little marks where I kind of blend that out. And that's all I'm going to do on it right now. I'm going to let that dry and move over to something else. When I come back to it, then I can go in and refine more details. So while I will do that, let's go into these shadows. And I want to do that because I want you to see too, these are shadows, right? They're actually yellow. So they're like a yellowy red. And that happens a lot on ice cream. So a lot on everything, you know, you have in your mind what you think something should look like. And the challenge of a realist painter is to try to paint what it actually is, as opposed to what, again, your brain is trying to simplify it as. So brain says, hey, shadows, dark, but that's not always the case. Sometimes they have reflected light in them. And so that's what we're going to do here. And that, when you do that right, when I do that right, then suddenly something starts to take on kind of a magical quality. And so we'll just do it real quickly here, and here as well. I'm going to add a little bit of white to this before I do these kind of lighter shadow areas here. So let's just see. Yeah, that's okay. So again, I want to look, and it's a subtle thing, and it's up to your artist's discretion, right, of how much you're going to do on this. But I look at this shadow area, it's not a block, right? It's not one color. There's actually this little dark shape in here. There's this kind of brighter shape in here, and then there's kind of a mid-tone shadow below it. So what I want to try to do is sometimes I will simplify or eliminate things, but I don't want to eliminate too much because I want it to look real. So I don't want to ignore things or get, as I say, lazy. And sometimes it's very easy to get lazy when you're a realist painter, but I don't want to do that here. As best I can, I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to go in again, like right here. This one is lighter here, and this is lighter just at this top part right here. So every little bit that we add, hi Miss Gray, welcome back. How are you today? Every little bit that we add in here helps us get a little bit closer to where we're going. So very nice to see you back, Miss Gray. So again, this one, I don't want to go too crazy. This one over here actually is a little bit more of a dulled down yellow, so I'm going to put a little bit of blue in there. And again, I can come back and refine this, but I'm going to flip this around in a second. Good, I'm so glad, Miss Gray. I'm going to flip this around in a second, but I just want you to see, because I want you to see, I guess, what happens when we start to really pay attention. You like that I take my own pictures, always. I very rarely have not used my own pictures. Back when I started doing commissions, I had some people who would send me something that are we at 97? Are there 3 wonderful people out there who are willing to follow me? Schloppy, thank you so much for the follow. That's very, very kind. I really appreciate it. I'm so close to 100 people. Let's go. Thank you so much, Fried Egg. Yes, so I think that's pretty good for 5 weeks, right? Or 6 weeks, something like that. Anyway, I'm very happy that you all are welcome, or that you all are in here, and that you are willing to spend time with me. So thank you again so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so anyway, I want you all to see what a difference this makes when we really start to pay attention to things, as opposed to, letting your mind drift. And that can happen too when you get overwhelmed. So I try, when you get overwhelmed when painting, so I try very hard to say in here, we're not painting ice cream, we're painting lots and lots of abstract shapes. So we just hope that they look like ice cream in the end. But, whoops. So again, that gnome came back and made that little mark, because that was not me at all, right? Oh, did somebody else? What's happening now? Fried Egg, did you just gift subs? Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you so much, Fried Egg. You didn't have to do that. That's so kind. Oh, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Let's turn this around. I just want to show you. Thank you so, so much. And you subscribed too. Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you so, so much, Fried Egg. That really means a lot. I really, really appreciate it. So glad you're here. And it's been so nice chatting with you today and getting to know you. So thank you so, so much. Pran. Thank you again. So, so kind. I really, really appreciate it. Very, very much. Bottom of my heart. Thank you. So I just want to point out these little shadows now. So they look kind of lovely, right? Just starting to come together. And so I think that that's the right direction to go. So not what you would expect, maybe. They're a little bit, different because they're a little bit warmer, but they really do start to kind of fill in that shape. So can Kim hit 100 followers? Let's see. I hope so, QP. Can I hit 100 followers today? Thank you so much. Ignore that, just pinning it. Okay. Thank you so much. Anyway, QP always is so supportive. And again, I really, really appreciate it, Fried Egg. Thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. I have no idea what that means to me. So thank you. All right, so I'm gonna head over here to this other side here because I know there's some warmer shadows in here. Can you see all those lovely little warm shapes here? So let's go ahead and try to address some of those as well. So we're gonna take the same color mix that we did roughly and go right in here. We'll just do a few of these little areas over here. This is one where I said, I did this little shape. It's pretty accurate. And Fried Egg is so kind. I know, right? Fried Egg is great. So we're so happy to have you in here again today. So thank you again so, so much. The color was a little bit off. So I actually have this glaze. I'm going to actually take the more reddish part of the glaze. So let's just put a little bit more red in there. And I'm going to go right over this little shape that I made and try to get my color a little bit more accurate just by putting a glaze over it. So it's not totally opaque. It is actually quite translucent, but the colors interact with each other. So that is a really good way to kind of fix something at a later stage of the painting. Another thing that I will occasionally do, I call it a regressive technique. So if I feel like I've gone a little bit heavy with my paint, I can go in with a little bit of medium on my brush. And that's another thing, Fried Egg, right? That if you've not used it as a regressive technique, it's actually really good. So you can go in with a little bit of medium on your brush and actually remove some of your paint. And so I will often do that when I glaze large areas. Like for example, I'm gonna glaze over this. And so did someone else just follow? Bored. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. I hope you're not bored in here, but thank you so much. So, so kind. I really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. I can go in and actually remove a little bit of this paint, and sometimes it will help me. I do that in particular when I glaze, like at this part, if I think that I've gotten too pasty, I will actually glaze over. Thank you so much, Board. I really appreciate it. Welcome. I love the emojis. I will actually glaze over this whole thing, and then while it's still wet, I'll go in and remove some of the paint with a brush that has the acrylic medium on it so that I bring those highlights back out, but they'll be just a little bit stained. So it's actually a much better way to do that without having to paint everything like over and over again. So I do that a lot. So anyway, all right, so I'm gonna hop back up here and let's just see if I can get a little bit more in kind of these darker areas first. So let's add a little bit more blue to this mix, and we'll add a little bit more yellow. I don't want to have much white in this, which I did add some white. So yeah, I'm sorry, Board. You should be out shortly. QP's got your back. um, anyway, thank you very much. So let's just see here. And I won't know, I need a little bit more blue in there. I want to just get this little shadow in here. If I can get just these little shadows up here corrected, then I will be able to go in and start doing some highlights, and I'll feel much more comfortable doing that at that point. All right. So I'm going to come in here with, again, just a slightly tweaked version of this with some yellow. I want to really pay attention because I don't want to do this incorrectly over here. So I have to draw in this shape. And the way I draw in my shapes is kind of the way that I describe actual drawing, which is to look at my positive shapes and my negative shapes. So I'm looking at the shape that I'm actually making, and I'm looking at the shape that that is around it as well. So when I go in here to try to fix that, I can see there's this little V in that shape, and that is what I'm trying. Oh, you're free. Okay, welcome again, board. Hey, Solar. So Solar was again one of the early people in here in my chats. So again, welcome back, Solar. And I checked out Solar's YouTube channel because he is an incredibly gifted composer. And if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, and he streams on Twitch sometimes too, so please go over and check out Solar's Twitch channel as well as his YouTube. And Solar, it was such a I listened to a couple of your pieces on YouTube, and they were amazing. So yes, you are always underselling yourself. So many people in here undersell themselves, but yes, very gifted, and everybody should check out Solar's channel as well. So so yes, and I don't know if you keep your streams up, Solar, but I know that you do have the YouTube videos, and so yeah, of course, very, very cool, very, very cool to hear your work. So so thank you so much for sharing it. So this little place, I just want to point out, we don't call these mistakes, right? We just, I think that's an artist thing. The underselling flow. Yeah, I think so. I think so. That if I go, I might have to come back and correct this. There's very few, especially in something like food. Agreed, huh? Thank you so much, Solar. Yeah, you got gifted a sub yesterday, I believe. So, so a very kind donor named Perry, I believe, gifted you a sub yesterday. So, anyway, so yeah. And we also had an anonymous person yesterday who gifted 5 subs, so that was really great as well. But and then today we had Fried Egg. Fried Egg gifted a sub to someone and then subscribed herself. So yes, very, very amazing. Just never, you all never cease to amaze me. So I appreciate it very, very much. So I'm just gonna try to refine a few of these. Then we're gonna flip it upside down. I can come back and fix some of this. But just these few little marks, I don't know if you can tell this, I can see. Sometimes I get to a point in my paintings when I don't have a Discord. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, board. Yeah, my husband has set up the Twitch for me. My technical prowess is limited, and so I don't think I'm gonna be heading over to Discord anytime soon. My time's also limited too, so, you know, yeah, probably not my thing. But thank you for asking. No worries. And Solar, you got your vocals tonight. So the lady who's supposed to sing for you is coming tonight to do the recording. Is that right? Very, very cool. I don't know if you can tell this yet, but just adding these few little marks over here, it really makes a big difference. It really starts to kind of pop this out to make it look very, very real. Yeah. No, it's all done. Oh, okay. Did it on stream. Oh, you did the whole thing on stream? Oh, okay. Well, I think I listened to one, well, I listened to a couple on YouTube. I didn't know if that was the final version or if that was like an earlier version, but it was beautiful. It had the little animation that went along with it, kind of a subtle animation that went along with it. So yes, all finished. Awesome. So everybody should check out Solar's channel again and then head over to his YouTube so that you can hear the finished piece. So again, very gifted composer Solar is, and again, always underselling himself. So yes, please check that out. Reading post on Instagram labeling people's traditional art as AI. Also me uploads traditional art to Insta. I know, right? That's pretty much what it is, Plo. That sums it up right there. So yes, of course, Solar. Aw, you're very kind. You're very kind. I'm so glad that you got to finish the piece, though. So thank you for saying that you appreciate me, because certainly I appreciate you as well. So appreciate you being here. I think that you might have the longest watch streak for me. I think you might. So that is definitely something that I am very appreciative of. All right. So let's just do a little bit more on this, and then I think the real trick to doing something that's like super detailed, thanks Solar, that's super detailed, is trying to find ways that you can achieve the look of lots of details without actually going in and driving yourself insane. So that is part of what I try to do. But I just want to point out, like, if you were to scroll back on the stream or look at the one yesterday, just putting those few little marks in here, it just makes the difference. It makes everything look so much more lovely. So I'm just going to very quickly go back in. We're going to work on just a few of the pecans, just a little bit, not finish them. Aw, thanks very much, Solar. We're going to work on a few of the pecans. We're not going to finish them, but we're going to do kind of similar to what we did over here. Just put a few marks. Yes, the shadowing, right? So it makes a difference. It makes this look like it's very, I was just going to say that, like it gives it lots of depth. So yes, Solar. Solar is not even a painter, but he can see it, right? So it gives this lots of depth in here. So, and with using colors that you might not expect. So again, yeah. Thank you so much, Solar. So I'm just going to come in and just do a few little things on these. And then what we're going to try to do, I hope you will hang out. And then what we're going to try to do is, again, I keep building up to this, but we're going to use these two colors mixed with a little bit of yellow and a lot of white. And those built up on this warm color that this ice cream is, it's going to start to give this dimension. Everybody does this a little bit differently. This is just my process. Again, don't take what I do as gospel, but this is what works for me. So let's right now just go in and see if we can get a little bit more definition with some of these pecans in here. So I'm just going to mix kind of a darker brown, a darker reddish brown to go into those areas. And let's just see, a little bit more yellow. So yellow neutralizes purple, right? So if you mix up red and blue, for anybody who doesn't have a lot of familiarity with color mixing, if you mix up red and blue, you will make a purple, any kind of purple from those two colors. And then to neutralize it and kind of bring it back to a neutral brownish color, you just add yellow. I like that you don't have the colors pre-mixed, but mix as you go. Yeah, I do that, fried egg. The only time when I pre-mix colors, I did pre-mix this base color because I applied it just in one layer all over this cone, and I mixed the warm base that was this one and applied it all over, and then I let my pencil marks peek through just a little bit and built up my layers that way. And so when I mix colors that I need to go over like a large area, I will mix them in one of these little condiment cups. Yeah, for big sections, right. I mix them in a little condiment cup. They have a lid, and I store them in a Ziploc bag, and that will keep them wet for me for quite a while. If I was doing something like, if you look at like the cookie paintings that I did, some of the big sky sections that were like, you know, shades of blues or in some other colors in different pieces, I will mix those ones up and keep them in little cups, even if I'm working back into glazes, even if it's not over the whole thing. But yeah, so that I have it. That's exactly right. So I can come back to it. So Ziploc bag, these in a Ziploc bag, they'll stay for like a month for me. So I'm afraid to mix big amounts of color. I have a limited budget, so your paints are precious. That's also why you work small. Yeah, I understand that, Plo. And I try not to waste any paint too. Yeah, it'll last for like a month, fried egg. Yeah, so pretty amazing. And when I mix my colors in these little cups, one thing, Plo, that can save you a little bit of paint if you ever have to do that is I don't mix with the brush side. You can use a palette knife if you want to, but I just mix with this side. I mix with the the pointy side of my brush and just kind of mix them together in the cup that way. And that way I can kind of scrape it off into the cup and very easily wipe it off onto a paper towel so that I'm not wasting lots and lots of paint. So, but I used to mix far more colors like that than I do nowadays. So, a fried egg, you've been wasting paint. I've been there, I understand. I went through a phase where I didn't know how to do it. And then when I learned how to do it, I was trying to mix like everything. And now I've backed off from that. And so I very rarely mix colors. Again, unless I'm doing something that I'm covering like a large area, or it depends on the subject, because back in the day I used to paint things like board games or comic books. I would do trompe-l'oeil pieces of comic books, or I would do little paintings of sections of board games, and so for those, because they have a much more graphic quality, and I needed the colors to be essentially the same in all places with just minor tweaks, I would mix up those colors ahead of time. So I used to have like big bags of my colors mixed up in these little condiment cups, but I tried to not do that too much. I did do that with some of my cookie pieces. I did. I mixed up big, well, not big, but little cups of color for some of my cookie pieces, because I knew they were going to take me a long time and they had similar colors across the whole thing. But for something like this, no, not so much. Phil, welcome back. Lurker working. Yeah, well, that's okay too. Welcome back, Phil. Nice to see you. Yes, and just want to make sure, because I think I was talking over comments and I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So just need to double check. Okay, that was okay. So now. Okay, good. You don't need so much. You end up using way less than you mix. Yeah. So I very, very rarely do it nowadays. Again, only if I know I have a really specific need for it. So again, the cookie pieces I kind of did because they were very colorful, very graphic looking pieces. So I have wanted that t-shirt for so long. The Star Wars t-shirt, is that right, Phil? Yeah, this is on TeePublic, which is a company that I discovered not that long ago, and they have artisan made shirts. So that I just love. I have diverse interests, right? I'm kind of quirky. I like a lot of sci-fi and nerdy stuff. so yes, yeah. Keeps popping up on your Facebook, is that right? Yes, yeah, so I'm definitely a Star Wars person, Phil, and yeah, so I liked it. Plus I'm kind of a rebel too. So just want to see here. You use, oh, okay, homey jelly gouache set. Interesting. Yeah, a little goes a long way. I really admire gouache artists, actually. I don't have much experience painting in gouache, but I do really admire. I've mentioned before, there's a comic book artist that I really love. His name is Alex Ross, and I believe that he paints in gouache over ink. And They're, you know, very, very realistic, um, a very, very realistic comic book art. So anyway, such a nice thing. So um, anyway, so yeah, let me just see. Yeah, Winsor and Newton's a good company. The precious point of view. Like I said, the wet paper towel. So this is actually three of the Selecta-size. I do buy Selecta-size. I used to buy the Bounty. I did go down to a regular store brand. But is that right, Phil? He's one of your favorite comic book artists of all time? I love Alex Ross. I have a book of his stuff on my shelf over here. So, so yes. But yeah, so this is 3 sections of paper towel, 3 of the Selecta size, so they're like, what, half size, that I fold over, wet it, wring it out, and the paint will stay on here for at least 24 hours and, you know, longer if you add a little bit of water each day to it. So definitely a way to stretch out your paint. And then the trick with putting it in the little cups and storing it in a Ziploc bag, another good way to stretch out your paint. Your Winsor Newton set is reserved for special use. That's really funny. Work is amazing, but so real and stylized. Yeah, I dig it though. I don't know. I like Alex Ross's work. He was probably one of my first real favorite artists. I was always into, we'll say, nerdy stuff, right? Not in a derogatory way, just I'm a nerd. So I was always into nerdy stuff. But then when I met my husband, he was into comic books. And so I started to learn more about the comic book world. I used to watch lots of cartoons. I watched Batman and so forth. But that was one of my favorites, still is my favorite, probably, cartoon from the early 90s. But yeah, so my husband introduced me to comic books as an actual, art form. And so I used to go occasionally to some of the conventions and, get things signed and meet people or hear them talk. And so Alex Ross was never one that I got to meet in person, though. So I was always disappointed about that, Phil. And let's see, Rewind a Design. You've been wanting to try this brand. You've never used gouache, so wasn't sure if there was a good representation or not. Can't stay so long. Wanted to say hi and see how everyone is doing. So I want to say, Rewind, that I went over to your Instagram because I don't stay much on Instagram, but I hopped over there and I wanted to tell you that you're a kindred spirit, truly, because you have a McDonald's collection and I totally have a McDonald's collection. So I have so many McDonald's collectibles in this room. My aunt used to work in McDonald's as a manager in the 70s. And so when I was a kid, she would bring me lots of McDonald's collectibles and toys. And so that was something that I always loved. And my husband, you do, it's your main collection. So my husband has gone back over the years and picked up a lot of the McDonald's collectibles that either that I didn't have the full collection, or that I just had always wanted it. And one thing that I have that I think is super cool is I actually started collecting a few years back old signs from indoors from McDonald's that are the translucent ones that like light up from the back. And so I figured out how to, that's right, Cupie. I figured out how to take simple little lights that were like strip lights and put them on the back of deep frames and light them up. So I have 3 McDonald's signs hanging in my living room that like were the menu signs that light up. I love them. And I have some smaller ones that I never put together. And I actually have a whole stack here that I have as collectibles. So like from the late 70s and early 80s mostly, and then a few from the 90s. But yeah. So translates, that's the name of them. Thank you so much, Rewind and Design. So yes, so someone after my own heart. So Cupie, you crack me up. I don't know if that makes me super cool, but I appreciate it. So that's funny. Yes, fried eggs. So yeah, so I like my McDonald's collectibles. When I was a kid, after my aunt had stopped working at the McDonald's, I can remember that we had her leftover uniforms, and I used to play dress up in them when I was young, and they were like the brown ones from the 70s. And so I actually still have, most of the stuff got ruined at some point over the years, but I do still have her scarf from the 70s. So I think that is very cool. One of my favorite little collectibles, but yes. So anyway, thank you so much, Rewind and Design. You're super cool too, because anybody who collects McDonald's collectibles, we're all super cool, right? So anyway, yeah, so I dig my translates though. They're really cool. If you light it, if you light them up at night, it makes it look like, I'm going to be cheesy again, but it makes it look like you're driving by like a restaurant at night, like when it's closed and you see the signs all lit up. So anyway, I used to really like that. And when we lived in Florida, my house was actually on a little bit of a hill, and one time, well, I'll just say, there was a McDonald's off in the distance, and I couldn't really see it really well, but it always made me feel like better to see it. And one time our fence burned down because some brilliant person thought they could stop mowing the field behind the house and instead just set it on fire. And so they set it on fire, burned half of the fence down that ran along our neighborhood, and I wasn't home. So I was at work, and a neighbor came over, a couple neighbors, and actually put the fire out near my house with a hose that I had left outside. So that was great. But anyway, the fence burned down, and before the people paid to replace the fence, I could see the McDonald's from my backyard. And I like loved it so much that I could see the McDonald's from my backyard. I don't eat McDonald's anymore, but I do love the collectibles. So anyway, there's my McDonald's story for the day. So I just want to make sure here that I didn't miss anything. So yeah. Did you say you love the uniforms? Oh, the brown uniforms. Yeah, right? You just bought a book about McDonald's uniforms. They were so cool. She was like super skinny though. So, I mean, I could only play dress up in them when I was like, 6. And used to find huge flat wood in different places and paint on it after smoothing it down. Oh, nice, Friday. You have a pool sign in your bathroom. Oh, okay. Do you really? Like a real pool rules sign? I love that, Cupie. So cool. So cool. That's your vibe. Our bathroom is going to be vintage with barber themed. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that so much. Pool rules in Cupie's bathroom and a barber theme in Rewind and Design. Y'all are awesome. You're the cool ones. I love that. So anyway, super, super, super cool. Fried egg. All right, everybody's so creative. We'll just say that. Everybody's so creative and appreciative of creative things. I love that. I just love that. Bathroom theme is just funky. Okay. I love the pool rules sign. Definitely, I definitely love that. All right, I'm just gonna do a tiny little bit on these, just a little bit. And you have a super cool vintage wooden apple clock. Is that right? Very, very cool. Very, very cool. I love that, like anybody can go to a store, right? Like a Target or whatever, and just buy stuff. But people like you guys, when we collect things and make them part of our home, vintage, as you said, funky decor, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. You guys better get to taking pics of these awesome pieces because I need to see. That's funny. Very cool rewinded design. When we grow up and realize we have free will, that's right. That's right, Fried Egg. We don't have to just buy stuff from the stuffy store. We can just make things our own, you know? Whatever we think looks cool. So I love that. I love that very much. You used to collect the toys in Kinder eggs, is that right, Flo? Very cool. You have a giant M&M guy in your office from your boss's friend, one of the life-size ones that you can put stuff in. Is that a life-size one? What's that mean, a life-size one? Like giant, like my size, like one? That's cool. This is what I love about it. If I have space that is mine, I'm gonna fill it with crazy stuff that makes me happy. That's what you gotta do, right? That's what you gotta do. Very, very cool. Well, I love that. I love that y'all collect stuff and, you know, just make your homes your own, right? Don't have to play by anybody else's rules for that. So I love that. I actually have, I really love these. One of my favorite McDonald's collectibles, my husband bought. And you know how people sometimes will hang plates on their walls? So there were these plates that I believe are from like I think they're 79. There's 4 of them with all the McDonald's characters from 4 different seasons. And we used to have them when I was a kid, and he used to have them too. And so neither of us had them anymore. So we got them for a holiday a few years ago. And so I actually have them on plate racks on the wall. So I love those actually. So it was so nice being here. I'm going to take my toddlers to the pool. Oh yeah, no worries. Nice to meet you very much, Fried Egg. Thank you so much again for following and for subscribing. It was so nice chatting and getting to know you a little bit, and certainly we will look forward to the next time you come back. So have fun at the pool today. Very, very cool. And we'll see you soon, okay? All right, let's just go in here. And we'll just do a little bit of detailing. Again, I'm not going to outline this. I just want to do a few little marks that help me feel like this is getting a little bit better and kind of addressing some of the heavier shadows in here. Just a little bit. And then we will come in, I promise, shortly here, I promise that we'll come back in and we will try to put in some highlights, because we want to make sure we make time to do that a little bit at least today. And I said this yesterday too, but as I get closer to finishing this, I don't remember if this is QP's suggestion. We talked about it briefly, but anyway, when we get to the end of this painting, we're going to have an ice cream party. So I hope that everybody will come back. I think we're going to do it next Friday. I think we can all roughly plan for next Friday. So so I hope that you'll come back and have an ice cream party with me. Bring your own ice cream and we'll celebrate when this one gets finished. So before we move on to the next project, what is the weird dinner that you are making right now, Flo? You bought ice creams today? Did you really rewind? I joked and you said yes. See, we'll call it your idea then, QP, because I don't know if I really would have done it, but I appreciate it. So we're gonna do it now, thanks to QP, because you said yes. So yes, so please come back. I think next Friday. We're gonna work on this just today. We'll try Monday and Thursday, and then hopefully we'll be done by the end of the day on Thursday, and we will try to do our ice cream party on Friday, and then we'll start something new. But anyway, you told your partners for an ice cream party? I love that. You're frying up bacon, onions, and peppers, throwing in some fresh garlic and barbecue sauce, and add it to rice. Actually, that sounds really good. I don't eat a lot of meat, but I can't stop eating bacon. I really do enjoy bacon. So yeah, that sounds good, actually, Flo. I make lots of weird things. You know, it's kind of whatever I have around that I think will be, I don't know what you want to call it. Whatever I think kind of fits semi together, I just throw it together. And yeah, so that sounds actually really good. Barbecue sauce makes anything good, doesn't it? Your husband had bacon and eggs, but then he never uses up the rest of the pack. You had to be creative. That's right. Hey, creativity in the kitchen. That is a necessary thing. I think those look a lot better. I'm going to come in here and again just go a little bit darker on a little bit of this. Some of your favorite meals are leftovers. Yeah, there you go. One pot, just throw it together. Yeah, I'm pretty flexible, you know. I'm pretty flexible. I eat a lot of vegetarian meals myself. I always cook meat for my husband, but for myself, I am like I'm like a what 75% vegetarian. so yeah, so that's my preference. So we talked about that a little bit, that I make kind of a lot of different meals, but I end up just throwing stuff together a lot of the time. I am very excited though, because living in shapes, you've never seen anyone painting ice cream, is that right? Well, welcome. We paint lots of ice cream here. We paint other things too, living in shapes, but yes, I paint ice cream. And this is one of our finished ones where we get really, really realistic. So we're gonna bump this one up to that level, hopefully. Here's another one where we got really realistic. And so yeah, so we just build in lots of layers and we try to get as realistic as we possibly can. But welcome, Living in Shapes. I appreciate you being here. That's so interesting. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We try. We try to make it interesting. But thank you. Yeah, it's kind of my thing. Painting ice cream is kind of my thing. But I paint a lot of other food stuff and then occasionally some other things as well. We're very enthusiastic about the pure talent. That's funny. Thank you so much. You're the opposite, Plo. You can't eat veggies because in their natural form. Oh, is that right? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is that all veggies? Like, I don't really know what that condition is, so. Your fave dessert is definitely not ice cream, right? You know what? I'm gonna confess, living in shapes, and tell you that I actually don't eat much ice cream. But we are gonna have an ice cream party next week, and so did somebody just follow me? So that was thank you so much, Abergene and Living in Shapes. You both followed me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Did we hit 100? Oh, yay! We hit 100. Thank you so much to both of you. So why, how and why Living in Shapes? Thank you so much to both of you, first of all, for the follows, because I'm so excited that we hit 100 followers, and I have only been doing this for 5 weeks, so that means so much to me. Thank you again. And the answer to that is that I started painting lots of still life, Living in Shapes, when I was starting painting, starting selling my paintings. And then I got picked up by a gallery, and thanks so much, Living in Shapes. And thank you so much, Abergene, as well. Yes, thanks to both of you. So when I got picked up by the gallery, I had a few ice creams in my repertoire, like thank you very much, Solar, handful of ice creams in my repertoire. I had done them for a number of clients, maybe less than 30, something like that, 20 or 30 probably at that point. And I just ended up having a lot of clients through the gallery that liked ice cream. So I started painting more and more ice cream, and it's kind of been my thing. So I do paint other things. You can check those out on my website as well. But yeah, so I do paint other things too. But yes. So yes, there's all the emojis for a lot of my ice cream paintings. nice. Thank you so much. Um, anyway, thank you again to everybody. Thank you so, so much for all of the follows. I can't believe I hit 100 followers. That's crazy. That is crazy. 100 followers and so many wonderful people who have subscribed in the last week as well. And so it looks so real you want to eat it. I appreciate it, Limited Shapes. I hope you will come back next Friday. We're going to aim to finish this. I'm going to be here again Monday and Thursday. We're going to try to finish it by Thursday. And we're going to plan to have an ice cream party on Friday. So I hope that you will come back in. We probably should just set that as a date. Even if I don't finish it, we'll probably just set the date as next Friday. We will do an ice cream party. So bring your own and we will have a virtual ice cream party. So anyway, so thank you so much. Okay, sounds good. So yes, we'll plan for Friday next week. To have our ice cream party, no matter what goes wrong, and if I end up being slow or whatever, but we'll still plan to have our ice cream party, okay? So next Friday, everybody bring your own, and I will be here roughly at 2 p.m. Again, I'm always a few minutes late usually. I usually stream yourself around this time, but you'll see what you can do. Okay, no worries. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. If you get a second to pop in, if not, you can always come back and see us later. And you're still welcome to eat ice cream, Living in Shapes, whenever you want. And you are welcome. Also, M. Chav, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Summit 101. Yes, of course. So my husband is in the other room. He set this stream up for me, and I know that he just followed you, Living in Shapes. So thank you so much. You are welcome to put your Twitch channel or any information or your website or whatever. I don't know what you do on your Twitch channel, but you're welcome to share anything in here with everybody because we try to make this a nice, friendly, open place. So please feel free to share whatever it is that you do. And everybody can go check out that channel. M. Chav, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Collaborating, you like it. Yeah, there you go. Yes, so he's really good with that. I would not have been able to set this up without him. Living in Shapes. He's much more tech savvy than me, and he's very good. Even though he's working on his own stuff right now, he's in there moderating, and he makes sure that he goes in and follows and does everything for me. So it's definitely very I'm very thankful to have him there doing that. So yeah. But yes, please feel free to share whatever you do. And M. Chav, thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. It's not much because you started like a month ago yourself. Hey, so did I, so it's fine. You can check it out. Well, go ahead and put your Instagram link in here. Feel free, Live It in Shapes. You can certainly share your stuff in here, and everybody can check that out on Instagram if you would like to. So, and I will check it out at the end of the stream because I'm still not great at pulling up links. There's a balance and I don't want to disrupt it, but I am practicing, and so I will make sure that I do that. I know that sounds really silly. I should be able to do that now, but yes, I'm going to bring it up, hopefully start bringing up people's links next week sometime. So anyway, so I'm just going to go in here and do a few little more shadows, just a little bit of refinement to this one that I had. And yes, I can't believe all of the follows and subscribers, and it's just so much. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate everybody being here. And yeah, we want this to be just a very friendly, open community where everybody can come in. I love knowing that other people are working on other things when they're in here. There's a lot of creative people who come in here, work on their own stuff, talk about that. If you just enjoy watching my process, that's totally fine. But I want you to think of this as like, this is my metaphorical studio door that's open to you to come in and hang out together. And so thank you so much for sharing the link, Living in Shape. So everybody please go check out their work. And I again will go back at the end of the stream and check it out. So thank you so much, Living in Shapes. Yeah, we're newbies, right? Newbies on Twitch. So we got to watch out for each other. So... but it's been a very kind, I'm sure you've had a similar experience. Everybody's been very kind and supportive, and it's just nice to Nice to know. You've probably been painting for your whole life. I have not. So yesterday, Living in Shapes, actually shared, a little bit of my journey and some of the work that I did throughout various stages of my life. But no, I came back and taught myself to paint, essentially. I did go to school for art. I came out as a lousy artist from college. And so I didn't make any art for well over 10 years. And then when I was 35, I taught myself to paint in oils through sheer persistence and research. And then I switched to acrylics, and that was about 10-ish years ago, 10, 12 years ago, something like that. So yeah, so I've only been doing it for that long, and so, you know, I have a weird little journey. Everybody does, right? We all have little journeys that are different and not maybe what we expect, but it's so hard to connect with other artists in real life, so you're so grateful for this platform. That's right, Rewind, isn't it? And so you had to check on the food, but congrats. Thank you so much, Flo. I appreciate it. I don't know about the 1,000, but we'll keep crossing our fingers, but I appreciate it, Flo. Can't agree more. Oh, M. Chav, you are a tatting lace and traditional artist. What does tatting lace mean? Please explain. So, and you love acrylics. Super cool. Oh, and you started 3 years ago, Living in Shapes. Very, very cool. Since then, you've been obsessed by art. Nice. So 3 years ago, you're definitely in some early stages, but that's wonderful. And you know, once you get started, then it's hard to look back, right? So 10,000. Are there even 10,000 people here? I don't really know. So I'm grateful for everybody who comes in, but you adore traditional crafts like that. Oh, okay. So Rewind knows what you're talking about, but please tell me, because I don't really know. Rings and chains. I'm going to have to look it up because I don't really know. But if you have any links, Mchav, or if you are you also a streamer? If you have any links that you would like to share, again, please do. And Living in Shapes, you are a complete newbie. It will be. Yes, it's a journey for all of us. We talk about that a lot in here. We all keep learning and we all keep developing our skills. So all of us living in shapes. That's what we're trying to, you know, do on our own. And now I hope we do it together. So anyway, so welcome again for that. Lace fiber. Oh, interesting. There are people in the artist and maker community there. Is that right? So 10,000 is possible, Plo? I'm happy to get to 100. How about that? So anyway, I'm happy to get to 100. I'm happy y'all are here and that you all are not just getting to know me and me getting to know you, but getting to know each other. I think that's super cool. So anyway, thank you to everybody who has followed and hung out and subscribed and just chatted and just lurked and watched what I do. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, so I want to just go in here again. This isn't quite as dark as I need it to be, so I'm just going to put another little bit. This is actually the same color that I just applied, but I let it dry for a few seconds, and so I could go back over it. You came across a streamer who has 22,000. Wow. Everything is possible. Just got to show up. Oh, Mchop. You're so welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing your work, both of you, and I will be sure to check that out. And you have to log in. Be right back. No worries. No worries. What brushes that you were using for fine details? So all of my brushes, Rewind, are... I prefer to use synthetic watercolor brushes. These are from Princeton, and this one is a size 5/0. It's very, very tiny. And so I don't always use them this tiny. Sometimes I use a flat brush, but they are all, sometimes I use ones that are a little bit longer. This is a little bit of a, is this the one? There's ones that I have that are, oh, there. This one's a little bit larger, but not much larger. So yes, so everything is Princeton synthetic. That's my preference. And always watercolor brushes, not not acrylic brushes, because I find that they are too rough for my purposes anyway. So sounds like science fiction. You mean getting that many followers living in shapes? I think that if you think it's possible, I'll say this: if you think it's possible for me, then I am sure that it's possible for you. And so I hope that if you get a chance, go back and watch my stream from yesterday and hear a little bit more of my story. I tell it a little bit now and then, but I say that, I've said that a couple times today because people have asked. There was a lot of points in my life where I feel like I was made to feel like I was never going to get better, like I was never going to be able to do it. I was shamed into painting things that weren't accepted, or the way that I wanted to paint was not accepted. So my journey was not easy, and I think that that's okay. So everybody has a different path, but we all learn to get better. But you can see some of the old work that I did when I was trying to teach myself to paint on my stream from yesterday. And if you don't have time for that, you can actually go onto my TikTok. That last night, very, very late last night, I actually posted just a few photos of the work that I had showed yesterday that was part of that journey. And so you can go on and look at that. And you use a pencil for €1 80-cent eraser and €1 sharpener. Hey, whatever you have available. If you go look at my pictures or my stream, you will see that when I was a kid, because I show some of the work that I did when I was a kid, that I sometimes, and I don't know if I said this directly, I just kind of showed it, but I didn't have a lot of money for art supplies, and I would draw or paint with whatever was around me. And so I have a piece that I did when I was a kid that was Jim Henson surrounded by a bunch of Muppets, that is just made with charcoal, with not charcoal, with chalk, sidewalk chalk on a piece of cardboard. And it still lasted all these years. But yeah, that's what your life starts now. Good for you. You're a 36-year-old kid right now. Learning with cheaper tools makes you a better artist. Now, that's a good philosophy, actually. It makes you appreciate more expensive supplies when you get them. Yeah, I agree with that, actually. I think that your tools cannot limit you. It's more about the exercise of doing the work and getting through it. And Jim Henson is one of your idols. He was one of my idols too, Rewind and Design. So, yeah, actually, and when I was really young, I think maybe I told this story on here once before, but when I was about 10, there was a contest on TV that was, you could win 12 tickets to go see Disney on Ice if you drew a Disney picture and sent it into them. And I wanted to win. I wanted to grow up and be an animator at one point. And I didn't have any money for art supplies. And so my grandpap would actually get me rolls of used newspaper, like recycled newspaper from the little town newspaper, and that was what I drew on. So I drew I would tear off I would cut it like wherever I needed to. And did you want to be an animator too? I would cut it where I needed to, and so I cut a sheet off, and I remember I drew Mickey, and he was wearing his little red and white suit. It was from a record album I copied it from. And I won the contest, and I won 12 tickets to go see Disney on Ice in the front row when I was 10 years old, using recycled newsprint and crayons that was cheap supplies. It was what I had, and I guess I always learned that I just used whatever I had. I wasn't going to let my budget stop me. So you just use what you have. Are you saying I'm going to end up painting desserts too? Hey, I'm not going to stop you. If you want to paint desserts, that's cool. You're teaching yourself animation, is that right? Very cool, Rewind and Design. Very, very cool. I took one animation class in school, and it was a lot of fun. But I I did learn that it probably wasn't something I like working by myself. So yeah, so you want to be my best friend now? to rewind and design? Is that because she loves Jim Henson, or because she's teaching herself animation? Very, very cool. Controversial take: you smudge graphite and do cheap dollar store makeup brushes. Interesting, Plo. Hey, like whatever works, right? Um, some of your fave art is made with unconventional materials. Yeah, right. Hey, Norsham, how are you? You used paper bags. You got to use whatever you have, right? Mjav, use whatever you have. So I would go back and watch my stream. You can see some of the early stuff that I made. You can see my chalk on cardboard from when I was a kid for my Jim Henson piece. And yeah, you just can't let anything stop you if you just gotta make stuff wherever you are. So because of the animation, you're just about to start. Nice. Cardboard boxes from cereal and mac and cheese. Is that right? Your senior art teacher would be rolling in her grave if she knew that you did that. I know, right? Like sometimes teachers are what do I want to see? I'll say heavy-handed. Maybe that's a nice way to say it. I just left a very weird, condescending stream, and now you're here. Well, Norsham, we're happy to have you here, and we will try to keep things very light and positive. So, no worries on that. And, yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So nice that everybody is here. I really appreciate you hanging out, and I'm so glad you all are chatting with each other and getting to know each other. So, so yes. So, yeah, let's, well, I'm trying to be polite there, living in shapes, you know? Again, if you watch my stream yesterday, or if you go and look at my TikTok video, I have some feelings. I try to be very kind. I try to understand why certain people, do what they do. But I do have some feelings on that. So thank you so much, Norsham. I really appreciate it. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm a little slow today because I'm enjoying the chat, and that's really nice. But anyway, so I am a little slower today, but that's okay. Sometimes that's going to happen. So I do want to. I'm going to just show y'all. We're gonna move on to this next part because I want to show you what I do. So I keep promising that I'm going to show you how I start to bring these layers out to give the ice cream even more dimension. So I have these two extra colors on my quick chat distract. I have these two extra colors on my palette today from what I had yesterday. So this, as it exists, really only used these four colors right here. And then I had a burnt umber on my palette before, but today I'm going to introduce these two colors down here. So this is my bright red, which is pyrrole red, and this is my bright Norsham. You were on a 3-stream streak. Thank you so much. This is my bright blue. So what I'm going to do is that is what I use for me. Again, it only works for me. You can certainly adapt whatever parts of this you like for your own work if you want to, but maybe it's just you like watching me paint this way, and that is totally fine too. So I'm going to go in. These are what I call they're brighter colors, but they're also much cooler colors. And so when I build out shape in my paintings, I like to build with these warm backgrounds that build up to cooler streaks. So your paint is actual ice cream, admit it. I will not live it in shapes. I will not. It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. That's what we do here. All an illusion. So, so what I'm gonna do is I just want to show you. And again, I'm gonna have to go back and fix a lot of this still, but I promised I was gonna do this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do parts of it. Sometimes I also need to do things. You're cracking me up. Sometimes I also need to do things just to give something that encourages me to think that I'm headed in the right direction. So sometimes visually I just need to do something like this. So I'm going to go right in here, and we're going to end up putting probably 3 to 5 more layers of paint on top of this. But as I go in and I do this, I don't know if you can see yet, but this little area starts to take on another level of dimension that wouldn't be possible if I was sticking with this palette. So that's what I do. Again, that's kind of what works for me, and it's not necessarily what works for other people, but I find that that helps to give me lots of layers of dimension. It also, you know, it's not really white, right? It's still a pretty off-white color, but as I add layers to it, it's going to get a little bit brighter as I go. So this is like a first pass. I'm just going to soften the edges a little bit of it with a little bit of medium on my palette, or on my brush. Just soften the edge just a little bit, and we're going to do that essentially all over. So if I were to, let's say I did this wrong, right? Let's say that I just did this incorrectly, and I do this and maybe I make it too pasty, too white at this point, which is possible. If that happens to me, then all I do is go back in with a different color of my glaze over top of it, again mixed with all of this medium, knock it back, and then try again. So everything that I do will still be there, but I am able to, you know, take away some of that pasty quality, still keep the shape. And if we get to that point, I will show you what I mean. I am probably going to do that with this down here, overload air. Sometimes I go a little bit fast. I apologize, living in shapes. So we'll take it one step at a time, right? So I'm going to go ahead in, and we'll just go ahead and add a little bit of this color, which again, this is a mix of white with some yellow, some red, and some of this bright blue. And so I'm just going to go in. Because it's translucent, you can still see the warm color peeking through from beneath, but it's not as dominant as it was. I can call you AJ. Okay, Living in Shapes. I will call you AJ then from this point forward, if my brain remembers to do that. Sometimes I can be a little bit diggy, but I will try to remember to call you AJ. So thank you so much. All right, so let's just go in here. Again, I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I'm trying to pay attention to, basically you know, if you want to think about it, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. As I go with each layer, I progressively cover a smaller area. Okay, good. I progressively cover a smaller area because I want to imply the curvature of the ice cream in there. And so when I go in here, for example, and I just want to point this out, this area right here, you know, has essentially, I think, about 6 layers of paint right now. They all together have started to bring out this curvature. Nothing was actually physically blended. It was just my layers, and I used medium to kind of taper out the edge. And so it says, I thought you've done this ice cream already. I was ready to buy it and eat it. May I post a link now? Yeah, of course, Mchov. Please do. Please do post your link. Feel free. Thank you for asking. So I'm going to go in here. And I want to pay attention here because this was actually a place where it wasn't drawn correctly. So I'm probably going to have to go back in and fix it a little bit. But all of this is just building up these, you know, increasing the implication of shape, of depth. You know, it's just a gradual increasing of it. This is tatting lace. Okay, very cool. Again, I will check it at the end, but anybody else who wants to go ahead and check Mchov's link, so please do, and feel free. So I'm just going to come in here and just, again, try. And I do need to be patient and let parts of this dry before I come back and try to rework it. So let's go ahead down here a little bit. I am probably going to need to come back because my shadows aren't correct down here. Yeah, you got an ad. I'm sorry. Appreciate it. Sorry. I am going to come down here and just add a little bit of these highlights, but I am going to have to come back with the shadows and refine those as well. But we'll put a little bit in because it's encouraging. It's visually encouraging to see. It was short. Oh, it's done? Is it done? I don't really know how that works yet on TikTok because it's showing me y'all have like 30 seconds left for ads, but is that not always the way that it is? Oh, and Rewind and Design is looking at your link. So, MCHOF. All right, so I'm gonna have to come back to that, but for right now, I just want to try to get a little bit more dimension in this. How do you know when it's finished? So I know how far I can push my paintings. There's not a super easy answer to that because Jake has also not the ice cream. Yeah, Jake, who is just watching. Jake, who is in here, asked me a similar question: if you ever know when a painting is done, and it is always somewhat difficult, but I know I know generally how far I can push my paintings, and so I just kind of push them as far as I think I can humanly do in a reasonable amount of time, and then I try to stop myself. I inevitably usually come back and try to fix something, some few little things, but there's a phrase that I did learn from a professor years ago, and I think he was paraphrasing someone, but he said it takes two people to finish a painting, and one of them is to paint it, and the other one is to bop them on the head and tell them when it's done. So sometimes that can be hard. I have a pic of my first acrylic if you would like to see it. Yeah, feel free to share. Feel free to share, Yamchav. You can see some of my first acrylics on yesterday's stream if you want to. So they were rough. They were rough. So here, actually I messed that up a little bit because I shouldn't really do it quite to there. So I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. All right, so I'm just adding lots of medium to this. And I've never seen anybody paint ice cream that accurate. I can feel almost the taste of it. I'll take that as a high compliment. Thank you very much, Living in Shapes. I appreciate it. MCHOP, okay. The greatest part is that they are still not melted. Thanks. So that's tough. I have to say, Living in Shapes, that is tough. And yeah, of course, MCHOV. That is tough. And when you paint melted ice cream, that is a lot easier because everything ends up being, kind of like smooth, curvy stuff. And so there's pieces of this that will start to come together as being a little bit easier. But like here, as I still go into it, and there's going to be a lot more that I will do to these sections. But yeah, to get all of that detail or implication of detail, that's not the easiest thing to do. So yeah, it's definitely a challenge. But part of what I show in here, or I try to show, is that I don't try to make every single mark. I make a lot of little marks, but I don't, yeah, right? The cracks. I don't try to make every single mark. So showing like the frosty quality if you look on my website, you can see some of the recent, or even I guess some recent streams. Oh, I could show you this one here. So this one, if you look at the texture really close up, right? So it looks like ice cream texture that hasn't melted. And the way that I did that is essentially to take multiple layers, kind of like we're doing here. We're just at a relatively early stage. But I take multiple layers and I apply them with this brush, which is, I call it my stipply brush. It's just a very old, rough brush. And so I take it and I apply multiple layers over top. So if I make a shadow area and then I apply a lighter color over the shadow area, it will start to look like it's the texture of ice cream, as opposed to me going in and painting every single mark. So yeah, no worries. Yes, so I have tried over the last, that's beyond your brain capacity. You will learn more, I guess, or you will get to see more as I do more on these. But yeah, it's, I had to find new ways to address problems like that without going in and driving myself crazy trying to paint every single tiny mark. Now I do lots and lots of details, but I do try to avoid doing every single tiny mark, and so I try to find some tricks that can help me get that a little bit closer. So I will show you. I probably will. Maybe I can apply this in my figure drawings. I wonder. Yeah, you never know. Yes, it takes layers and layers. That's right, MTov. I need to go and carry on tidying, but will lurk so you still have my view. Okay, thank you so much, Rewind. And see McDonald's besties. Yay! We're McDonald's besties. I love that. Thank you so much, Rewind. And I really appreciate you coming in today. And at the very least, I do hope you come back maybe next Friday when we try to do our ice cream party. So thank you for that. Anyway, so you know what? I'll go ahead. Living in shapes. I'm gonna show you real quick. I try not to waste my paint. So let me just do a little bit with this brush. And then I'm going to show you what I mean by those layers for both you and MChov, since you're new in here. And I just want you to see. Oh, thank you so much, MChov. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Solar, no worries. You're lurking. I appreciate it very, very much. All right, so we're starting to get some dimension there. Before I add any more paint to this brush, I just want to take a little bit on my other brush and just show you what I mean when I say that I'm going to apply this in lots of kind of stipply layers over some of these areas. So let's go ahead and take, what would be a good section to do this? Let's see. All right, let's take this section right here. So I have this light color, right? It's already mixed with some of my paint or some of my medium. I'm just gonna scrape it up and try to use the last little bit. I'm gonna mix up some more, but oh, okay. Oh yeah, somebody shared that link. I don't remember if that was Cupid in here before that shared that. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. I have this on my rough stipply brush, and I'm going to try to apply this in a way that is not directly painting the, might have to mix up some more paint, but not directly painting the all the little marks, but instead painting kind of spotty marks over my shadows, if that makes sense. So let me just do a little bit more, and then I will mix up some more color here. So again, like this pecan is kind of buried in the ice cream, right? So in order to do that, if I use this kind of stipply motion, then, and I'm still gonna go back over this, but if you use that kind of stipply motion, then I get that look of it being buried in the ice cream with some highlights popping out, but not having to go in and paint every single mark. You just found out the town next to you is having a gallery with local artists, but you have to submit. You should apply, Flo. What's the harm, right? What's the harm? So, so yeah, so I'm just gonna do this just a little bit more, and then I will, you should totally apply, Flo. And, you know, I will say that rejection is, you know, just a part of life. So, you know, like I get rejected from stuff all the time. So that's just a part of life as an artist. But you should definitely try, because what's the harm in trying? And I think that your work is amazing. So, you know, definitely should try. And anybody who hasn't checked out Plo's channel, please go follow Plo, because she is also an amazing artist and she undersells herself in here. So she definitely should, or you definitely should follow her. All right, so that's just a little bit, a mini demonstration of that, but it starts to build up a little bit of shape. Your brain would explode. That much info. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. That's the way I've learned to address certain details. Certainly not for everything, but for some things it does work for me. So let's go ahead and maybe mix up a little bit more of a very similar color. So we're just going to take a lot of white with a little bit of yellow and a little bit of my bright red. This was, like I said, just something I figured out with a lot of trial and error. I had specific problems I was trying to address. And so for me, this ended up being the most workable solution that kind of got me through the idea that I don't have to paint every single tiny mark. I do try to paint lots of details. And so I come back and I kind of pick the ones that I feel like I need to refine, but I try not to get distracted by doing every single tiny detail, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna get this color to be roughly the same as this other one that I had. That's not always the easiest thing to do, but we will try. Okay. It's pretty close. So I'm just going to mix a lot of medium into it, and we'll try again up here. So we'll just, and what I do is I try to turn my brush a bit. I use a pretty light touch. I try to turn my brush as I go, and the reason for that is so I get technical. I love details, hate drawing them, but when you look from a viewer's perspective, it's awesome because every single detail adds up. Yes, I agree. I'm very much, you know, a details person. Again, certain things I feel like I can speed it up with, you know, this kind of process without looking like anything is rushed or simplified. And so what I'll do is, like for this, you know, this area here, I'll still come back and clarify, particularly like these little highlights that are right across the pecan in here. And so when I do that, that will make all of these look a bit more refined, but without me having to initially go in and make every single mark. So, you know, painting, drawing, whatever, it's all problem solving. That's the whole gist of it, really. It's all problem solving. So that's how I solve some of my problems. So I'm just going to go up here again, because this particularly works well in this kind of a painting where, again, I'm trying to, as Livin' and Shave said, this ice cream hasn't melted yet. So it still looks frozen, which means it still looks like it has some kind of texture to it. And so, so that is really what I'm trying to address here. And so another thing that I can do, you know, at a various point in here is I can, when I come in with my subsequent layers, I'm not going to be going over exactly the same areas that I did this time, right? I'm going to be probably reducing and refining so that, again, I create more curvature in what I have. So, but yeah, I am definitely a detail person. Let's blow this up a little bit. Like right here. But again, I guess the most interesting part, because I'm an art nerd too, right? The most interesting part of this to me is that the way to really get these to pop and to start to look dimensional and to start to really look beautiful again, is to use these two separate sets of colors. So just working in some kind of progressive order for them. And again, if you paint different things, that's going to be completely different for you than it is for me. You know, a landscape painter is probably not going to have the same color palette that I do. Back in the day, you were taught to draft. Have you applied that before you do a painting or drawing? Like a draft, you mean like a well, I'm not gonna guess. So explain what you mean to me, Chav, if you did, if you would, please. I do studies. Is that what you mean? Like a study? Occasionally I do studies. So like right in here, this is again kind of a lovely area now because I took the shadow that I had under here and then I tried to apply this sort of implied texture on top of it so you can see the shadow peeking through. Draft a drawing or painting. Sorry, I still need a clarification. I just want to make sure I answer your question right. Sometimes I'm a little dingy, so I apologize, Job. Are you asking like how much I do is like a drawing underneath here? I just kind of get a basic rough idea. So I don't know if that answers your question. Sometimes I will do a study for something that's, you know, small if I'm practicing to try to improve my skill sets on a separate panel before the drawing or painting. So something like this. So these I considered, we did these on Twitch streams last week. And so I apologize very much. We did these on Twitch streams last week because I was practicing my trompe l'oeil, right? So I do these frosting pieces that have frosting and cookies. So I wanted to do some studies of those. So this is a study of that, and it is flat, but it's painted to look dimensional. So this we did on a 4-hour Twitch stream. And this was another one we did. So again, it's flat, but we painted it to try to look 3-dimensional. Is that what you mean by that? Like a study. So those are just tiny versions to practice my skill set so that I can use them for, and they're also a little bit rougher. Like this is not a finished painting. This is a 4-hour exercise. So if that makes sense. So yeah, so something like that. Okay, I gotcha. I apologize. That's my fault. Sometimes I'm not. I have this shirt I've said before in here that I had since I was a kid. That was a Far Side shirt. For anybody who remembers what Far Side, illustrations, cartoons were, and it has this little boy pushing desperately on, it says Midville School for the Gifted, has this little boy trying to get into the school, pushing desperately on this door, and the sign says pool. So that's me. I am that little kid on that Far Side cartoon. So sometimes I can be a little bit brilliant, and a lot of times I'm I'm quite dingy. So, so yeah, that's just me. But now, you know, I'm just, you love The Far Side? Then maybe you know that one, or you could look it up if you want. But I should wear the shirt again someday. I think that it still fits, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, that's me. Anyway, I apologize. I appreciate your patience with me for that. Um, Sometimes it's also hard for me to get. Now I think it needed more work. Oh, is that in reference to something else? Oh, are you referring to the link that you put for your chocolate? Um, I gotta go. Getting pretty late for me. It was nice meeting you too. Aw, you're an amazing artist in person. I will hopefully see you next time too, Living in Shapes. Thank you so much for the follow. And it was really nice chatting with you. So I appreciate you staying up if it's late where you are. And we hope to see you again. And come back next Friday if you can. I know you said you're streaming, but if you can pop in for a minute or two, we would love to have you for our ice cream party, okay? So, anyway, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to turn this on its side just because it's going to be a little bit more accessible for me. So we'll go ahead and turn this. And I'm going to, again, go into this area with this little stipply brush. Try to go right over some of these kind of shadow areas. And just see if I can create the implication. Thanks so much, Living in Shapes. Yeah, no worries if you can't. I'm just teasing. But, you know, I'll see you soon, okay? All right, so we're just going to do that. I'm going to clean that up just a little bit. And again, I'll come back and refine things. But this does get us much closer. Much, much closer. I'm so glad I caught you guys. They're nice people in here, right, Amchav? So nice. All right, so we're just gonna, again, the other thing this kind of does when I do this too is, again, because I'm working in these layers, there's kind of hard transitions right now between this color and these shadow colors. And when I do this, it almost unifies them. So again, I'm just gonna go in here, knowing that I still have to come back and refine some of these details, right? Like this area is not quite right. Yes. Yeah, thanks, Mchav. Yeah, nice people in here. I'm very pleasantly surprised again by how many nice people there are on Twitch. So, and how many have chosen to spend some time in here with little old me. So that's really nice to know. I appreciate it very, very much for all of you guys. So again, I just want to use kind of a light touch on this. And I will come back and refine things. What I don't want to do, because I work in glazes, is what I don't want to do is try to build up actual texture. That's not what I want, because I want to come in and have the flexibility to add glaze colors, very thin glaze colors over this. So I have to make sure that when I do something like this, this is just the implication of texture, not adding actual texture. And again, that's just my process. That's what works for me. But I just want to show, you know, if I turn this flat, there's no actual texture there, right? It's all flat. So it's not actual texture that I'm adding, it's just implied texture. So. All right, so again, up here, just kind of creates this nice transition. Nice transition between, you know, what is kind of two blocky shapes. And that tends to happen in acrylics, especially when you're not blending things like I do. So, because I don't blend. But this is another way that, again, I've found that I can really make my layers, you know, I can really make them work to my advantage by exploiting what I think are the capabilities of the acrylics instead of fighting them. So I am fishing in a game and watching. Okay. No worries, M-Chop. It was really nice for you to come in here too, and I'm so glad that everybody's getting to know you as well, and I will definitely check out your links a little bit later, so thank you so much. So again, this just looks so much more beautiful than it did at the beginning of the stream. And again, I still have lots of refinement to do in here, but this is so much easier than if I were to go in and try to make all these little marks. It really is. So if you're ever struggling with something similar, and I realize this is very specific, but it does actually work for a lot of different, again, it's problem solving, right? Painting is problem solving, drawing is problem solving. And so that's, you know, that's the whole process, is how do I make this look, well, realistic stuff. I don't want to speak for abstract artists because I'm not an abstract artist, but for realistic stuff, it's all problem solving. How do I make this look more real? And for me, this is one of my tricks. So again, I'm going to take just a little bit of medium on a different brush so that I can taper this edge out, because this has melted just a bit onto that pecan. So it looks a little bit different than, say, some of this where it's more frozen. I like to teach others on how not to do that and make it work. There you go. There you go. You're on your way to visit family. Visit with family. See you soon. Thank you so much, Cupie. You are always so wonderful in here, and I really appreciate it. So I'm so glad that you stopped in. And yes, we will see you soon. You're teaching your, I hope to see you soon. Yeah. Thanks again, Cupie. You're teaching your grandson at the age of 8 on how to draw. That's awesome, M-Chav. That's awesome. Very, very cool. That is truly a gift, because if he can carry that, you know, like they say that people really stop drawing soon after that age because they get frustrated. So if you can teach that to your grandson now, so that he doesn't get to that point of the frustration, then that is a wonderful gift. So that's really wonderful to know. So I'm just going to flip this back so that you can just see. So much better. It looks so much better, right? So again, this is going to be several more layers of paint, a little bit pushing back, a little bit bringing forward, but it just looks so much better than it did. So so let's go ahead. I'm going to turn this right side up. Again, sometimes I turn things upside down because I want to see them more objectively. But he asked for lessons. That's wonderful. It's really such a gift. And he's very lucky to have you, because I will say that I didn't really have anybody in my family who knew how to make art. My grandpa did do a little bit of drawing, but he didn't really ever show me. I think he wasn't confident that he did it well enough. And so yeah, so your grandson is very, very lucky to have you to do that. Last year you gave him an easel. Nice. Gives you a better perspective. Yeah. I think that well, I will say I wish my grandpap had felt confident, I guess, to show me the stuff that he knew. But again, I think he felt like he didn't really have any training, and so he didn't feel confident in sharing his skill set with me. So you learned on your own too. Yeah, starts with basic shapes. Yeah, I mean, I consider I did go to college for art, but most of what I do is I learned on my own. So And that is the best teacher. Experience is always the best teacher. But this really looks so much better. It looks so much better. I'm very content with... Did I ask him? I don't remember. I don't remember. I was very young and he stopped drawing when I was probably... I don't remember him drawing anything. I don't remember him drawing anything past when I was probably not much older than your grandson. So... yeah, sorry, I'll repeat. All right, this looks so much better. So much better. So I'm very pleased, actually. It's not perfect, but it's so much better than it was. I do hope that if you haven't checked out the other streams from either yesterday, Thursday, or Monday, because we have worked on this entire piece on the stream, and so I do hope that you will tune in and check those out to see like where this started. So and Plode, perfect doesn't exist. Mchov, I don't remember if I asked him or not. I doubt it, because it wasn't really our way for me to ask. I also have a garden in the backyard, and I never asked. My grandpa had a huge garden, and he was really good at it, and I never asked him. So I have beautiful memories, but I did not acquire that knowledge from him. Faz Friendo, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's very, very kind. We're working on it, right? We're working on it. So we're getting it going. We want to try to get it all the way up to something like this level. And so we're just going to keep going on it for a few more sessions. So welcome in, and you can hang out with us while we do this. We're going to do a little bit more on this today, and I'll be back on Monday and then next Thursday. And then we're going to have an ice cream party on Friday to celebrate. So, but welcome in, Fraz friends. And yeah, Mchov. So I hope that you heard my response to that it just wasn't our way, I guess. It makes me sad to say that, but it wasn't our way for me to ask him to do that. But I don't think that he drew probably past the age of what I was saying was, I don't think that he drew probably past the age of when I was about your grandson's age. So I think that he stopped entirely then, and I'm not sure why. So without even trying, you would sit outside with my grandkids and sketch. That's really nice. That's really beautiful. And they are very lucky to have you. Very, very lucky. Yeah, I do wish, like I said, I have a little garden. I'm a second-year gardener, and I've been trying to teach myself. And I do think that experience is still the best teacher, but I do wish there was a lot of things that that I wish that I had learned from him, because he had a huge garden, and he would like can vegetables every year with my grandma, and so it was really his main thing. But yeah, all those lessons I didn't get. It wasn't our way either. And my grandkids would watch me and ask questions. Nice. I love that. I love that. So they were intrigued by what you did, and I love that. All right, I'm just going to take another brush and just soften that edge just a little bit. I think I'm going to go ahead and flip this upside down. So let's go ahead and do that. We flip it upside down because we want to see things more objectively, right? So Let's flip it upside down. Let's come over to this side. I'm not sure. I still might have to come back in with more shadow color over here, but let's just see. Oh, this might be okay. So we have the, for anybody who just came in, we have this nice warm base, and we did that with this color grouping here. But today we're adding this color grouping here. So this is able to make the shape of the ice cream come out a little bit more by changing the blue and the red in there. And is that Gizma? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Very, very kind. We're still fairly early on, but I appreciate it very, very much. It's amazing. I flip off the tab to do things for a few minutes, come back, and it looks like even more like you want to lick it. Is that right, Plo? Thank you. And I think I might have missed a comment from you, Plo. You're putting your portfolio together to submit. Is that what you were saying? I apologize. I did see it and then I moved on with another thought, but I do think that you're submitting your portfolio. So yes. But I really appreciate it. This stage, I will say, when I start to transition, and again, it's going to be different for everybody, but when I transition from this color grouping to this color grouping, it really does start to take off. And you'll see, I haven't done that yet to the cone, but you'll see in a little bit that that is, might have to pick that up on Monday, but you'll see in a little bit that that is also, it just takes a big transformation at that point. It's really pretty amazing what changing those color families do. So again, for anybody who's interested, the general color theory, you're scanning in your art. That's what it said. Scanning in your art because you didn't scan or update any on your website. I've been there too. It's kind of like the work stuff that I don't love doing, but it's necessary. I don't actually scan my stuff though. I usually have to photograph it because my pieces are too big for my scanner. So I don't think I've ever actually scanned any paintings, but I do photograph things with my Nikon, which is a pain to edit, but needs to be done. Anyway, so yeah, so doing these, it really does help. Oh, and that's what I was going to say. For anybody who's interested, you know, there's a really good color theory book that I keep on my shelf because I say I'm not a teacher, but I'm happy to share what I do. But there's a really good color theory book called Color and Light by James Gurney. And then the color theory that I particularly use is from an article by a professor at Savannah College of Art and Design who used to write for me when I was the magazine editor. And he wrote an article called The Dual Color Wheel Theory. And that is really what I apply here. So that article can be found online as a PDF, I believe. And so his name was Stephen Knudsen, and it's his dual color wheel theory. So you can Google that if you want to and just kind of learn a little bit about that. But I just found that that seems to be the most conducive for me for working with these two families of colors. I don't do it exactly maybe as he described. Part of that is, I don't know, perhaps a little laziness on my part. You technically should have two yellows, but I've just never done that. So anyway, Mchov, you photograph too? Yeah, and I understand, Flo, your stuff's just small, so it's easier to scan. I wish that I had scanned my small paintings from back in the day because I don't have anything that's really high resolution. When I first started painting, I took low resolution photos of everything. So yeah, I didn't keep them. So anyway, but yeah, I photograph because, well, for a lot of reasons. I mean, size-wise, it's necessary. Sometimes I make prints of my pieces, and so the photos, I actually someday I would like to get a better camera. I have a pretty decent camera, but it doesn't allow me, like, especially for my large pieces, what I have to do, this is gonna sound really crazy, but what you have to do, at least what I have to do, is I take photos of sections of my paintings. Like when I do a 4-foot tall one, take photos of the sections of my paintings and then have to stitch them together in order to get something that's high enough resolution for the whole thing. So that stinks. And it's really a pain to do that. And so someday I would like to not do that. So most of your work in later past was too large. Yeah, I understand that, MCHOV. So yeah, most of my stuff is too large for a scanner. This is kind of, for the most part, I mean, I do a few of these small ones now and then, but for the most part, this is kind of like the smallest that I typically stick with. And most of my stuff ranges between this and like 4 feet tall. So anyway, my camera is 20 years old, so it's my old, it's so old my phone camera is better. I understand that, Flo. So I paint from my iPhone here now, but I was bound and determined to not pay for an iPhone, and I kept my old phone for like well over a decade, and I would take it to like the grocery store, and the checkout people would be like, they'd never seen a phone like my old phone because it was so old. And eventually AT&T just felt bad for me and sent me one for free. So I just had to wait 10 years, and then they eventually gave me one. So anyway, yeah, I don't like spending money on technology if I can avoid it, but someday I am going to need a better camera for some of my larger pieces. All right, so we only have a little bit more to do up here. I am going to work in this section here. I don't blame you. Yeah, I didn't want to spend that, right? Anyway, I'm glad I have it now because I use it for this, but it took me like a long time to even install like an app on my phone. I'm like not very techy at all. So there's certain things that I can do. I can fix my website and stuff. I can make prints and work in Photoshop, but anything else, I just rely on my husband. He's really good at that kind of thing. So all right, so again, I want to make sure as I do this that I'm not applying any actual texture, and I just kind of look to see if I'm casting any shadows from having too much texture. If I am, I just try to knock them down because I want to be able to put the glazes on top of it, right? You were just talking to your grandson about phones. It's like people, born in the last 20-ish years, they don't know any other way, right? He remembers the dial-up ones. I told him it goes back further. Yeah. I actually have, I have a lot of antiques and vintage things that I inherited from my family over the years. And one of the things that I have that I just think is really cool, I just have it stored upstairs, but I have I have this vintage phone from like the I think it's from like the 60s actually. That's like the big hand receiver, and it's like gold and cream and very, very bulky, but it has my phone number on it from when I was a kid still written inside. So it was my great grandma's phone, and then we must have taken it from her at some point when I was young, and it still has our phone number in it. And I just love it as a collectible, I guess. I just think it's really cool. He's 8, yeah. You mentioned the speakerphone. Oh, that's funny. You're getting a history book for him. Nice. What kind of a history book? He tells me he likes history. Nice. My husband is a big history guy, and he had a really great teacher in high school for history that really like delved into um, just really interesting like context for everything, and I didn't. Mine was more about memorizing facts, and so I never really had that what do I want to say, I just never really had that interest when I was younger. I really like learning things, but I wish that I had had a teacher that had kind of brought it to life the way that his teacher did, because it always makes me a little bit jealous. Oh, a history book about the phones and how it became. Neat. That is neat. I guess it didn't even cross my mind that there would actually be books about that, because it just feels like I don't know. I guess it makes me feel old that that's now become something of history. So, anyway, it's strange to think back on the time when we would go places and not have phones. You didn't like history much? Yeah, I think we just had bad teachers. So, but you like teaching him. That's good. That's good. You don't know what they do with your look. I live near the telephone city where Bell made the first phone call. Is that right, Flo? That's cool. Let's just turn this on its side. I just want to do a little bit more, just a little bit for today. I'm gonna clean that up. Again, just take another brush with a little bit of medium, not water, and just clean it up. So almost every year we would go on a field trip in elementary school to the house. That's so cool. So cool. I really, that was my favorite part of school, field trips. I mean, I liked school, like, when I was a kid. I like learning generally, but I loved field trips. I loved field trips. I got to go. I was really lucky to get to go on a lot of field trips. And I realized not everybody got to do that, so. But that's really cool, Flo. All right, let's just do a little bit more. Like my husband, hey, he hardly got to go on any field trips. And I got to go on so many. Maybe that's because of the clubs and stuff that I was in, I guess. I don't really remember. But I mentioned the other day in here that one of my favorite places on earth was Falling Water, which is the house that Frank Lloyd Wright built over top of a waterfall. I always wanted to live near a waterfall because of that, and we used to take the occasional school field trip to that because it was in Western Pennsylvania where I grew up. So hydrate. Yes, I'm probably gonna close things out actually in a few minutes, but I appreciate Chav. Am I looking lax? Sometimes I do that towards the end of my streams. Um, I was gonna take a break today and I totally forgot. So anyway, so I'm probably gonna call it a day soon. Yeah, I appreciate it though. Cupid usually reminds me to hydrate as well, and Willow sometimes will come in and tell me the same thing. So I appreciate it because I do forget sometimes. I have in your ARC game. What does that mean? Um, but yeah, so we'll do a little bit more. We try to get to the 4 hour-ish mark. Sometimes they go a little bit longer than that, but yes, I did forget. I did forget to take a break. It's okay, but you need to, yeah. Yeah, next time remind me I try to take it. Well, I wasn't doing it at all because I told my husband, I was like, I don't want to take a break. There's people in here and I don't want to ditch them. And he told me I just had to. So I try now, at least the last few sessions, I've been trying to take it somewhere around the 3 hour mark, but I missed it today. But that is okay. That's okay. But I am excited because I always, we have had streamers pass out because no breaks of drink or food, not healthy. Is that right? All right. Next time I promise. So, I promise I will. But as I get to the end today, I will say every time I get to the end, I try to share that they will wait. We have to watch each other. Okay, thank you very much, Chop. I appreciate that, and I promise I'll stop in about 5 minutes, and I will just end for today because I try to get to about 4 hours. But next time I will try. Next time I will try very hard to remember to take a break. And anybody who's in here, if I don't take a break around the 3 hour mark, please remind me so that I don't pass out like Mchav is reminding me here that people can. So, anyway, but as I get to the end of my stream, I always get a little bit excited because I get to go out. 4 hours is a good timeline. I think so, Flo. Yeah, it's like reasonable. I've stayed longer than that. But, if I take a break, I can stay a little bit longer than that. Oh, you do every hour? That's probably actually much healthier. That's probably much healthier just to get up and walk around a little bit. Yeah, that's probably just a much healthier approach, Mchav. So I understand that. I don't know if I can commit to it, but I do understand it. But as I get to the end of my streams, I always say, if you haven't been in here before, and I get very excited because I get to go out to my garden, and it's something that I look forward to. Again, tiny garden, just my second year, but it is nice to get outside and just wander around and take care of my veggies. So, yeah, circulation, I totally understand. I used to be better at it when I worked like in an office. I'm less good at it when I'm doing a painting, but you're right. It is, I'm sure, much better, much better. But I promise I will walk around in my garden for at least 15 minutes when I get up and do this when I finish out here today. So thank you, Mchav. I appreciate you watching out for me. All right, let's just come back in here. We'll do a little bit more. And by the way, if you're in here and you haven't followed, we'll give you a better perspective of your paintings. That's probably true too. That's probably true too. I promise I will do it. Like I said, I've done well the last few streams. I was doing better with it, but I did forget today. So anyway, I appreciate everybody being in here today, and for all of the wonderful new people that I got to meet. And thanks. And if you haven't followed yet, please consider following. And we just hit 100 today, and I think we went a little bit over, so that was really great. And the bell ring. You're trying to get me moving. I appreciate it. um, but we will be back on, I will be back on Monday. And I hope that you guys will consider coming back. So Monday we will get started on cone and refining this more. And then again, Thursday we'll work on it a little bit more than that and hopefully be done. It's my goal anyway. And yeah, and it's a lot to think about when so many things going on. I know, right? It is a lot to think about, taking breaks. But I do hope that you'll come back for our Friday ice cream party. Again, I've committed to it now, wherever stage I'm at in the painting. I'm hoping that I'll be done by then, but if I'm not, we will still have an ice cream party on Friday next week. So bring your own ice cream. I'm gonna bring the leftover butter pecan from this one that I didn't eat yet. So yes, so I will go in and do that. And so I hope that you all have enjoyed watching this a little bit. I'm so glad that you hung out with me. What is your time? You're West Coast. I'm East Coast. I'm East Coast. So I guess it would be approaching somewhere around 6 o'clock, a little bit after 6 o'clock probably. So I'm going to go out to my garden, and then I'm going to make dinner. And then I'm going to work after that because, yes, I sometimes work late. So we are going to work after that, but not on this one. We'll work on something else. So anyway, thank you so much to everybody for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And I think we're going to raid somebody. So anybody who wants to hang out, if you hang on for just a few minutes, I will go ahead and send you over to someone else. And again, if you haven't followed me, please consider following me. And otherwise, I will see you back here on Monday, okay? Monday, roughly 2 p.m. Eastern time. Chav, so nice to chat with you. Plo, of course, and anybody else who was hanging out in here for any length of time. I appreciate it so, so much. Anybody who subscribed, again, so wonderful. I really, really appreciate it. And I will hopefully, again, see you back here soon. So we'll chat next week, okay? Have a good night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.